Welcome to the official Poopmancer stream. Yes, Poopmancer. This is going to be us taking the Blood Wave with triple Blood Wave cast into Shadow with Blood Orbs to reset the cooldowns, and then we're zooming with Blood Mist through, and like we're gonna poop on them and shadow damage over time, and it's going to be brilliant. We might even play Black River, and I'm not sure about this yet. So it's a bunch of things coming together for one build. I think we're going to like do the skill tree first because want to see how this one is going to go. That is about, we're going to probably choose Blight, but I'm not even sure if we're going to choose Blight, but it's another 15% damage. We need corpses. We go maximum corpse explosion, but shadow corpse explosion this time. We probably also go 5 points into Blood Mist because we need Blood Mist cooldown to be low. We don't need much over here. We're going to be playing Decrepify, but I'm unsure if we actually play the double curse build. So keep that in mind. That is potentially a double curse build. Amplified damage. We need the blood orbs, so more blood orbs again for no reason, but we don't need vulnerable because we do vulnerable different. We do all the shadow skills, that's for sure. Then we take Blood Wave. And here comes like the big question, right? Do you even need these 2 points? Technically, we could leave the Blood Wave blood orbs out, but I think we want them for the cooldown reduction. I have to think about this, but I'm pretty sure I want to do this, and that would be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then we have 3 points left, and technically we could have random blood orb spawning, but that seems kind of completely useless. Right? We should probably go for Death Embrace. And we could go for faster attacks. We play Banisher today. Yes, we'll also play some Banisher, but first I want to get this build done. We could go for more movement speed too. It's actually really nice. Good idea. We could go for faster movement speed. Okay, so right now our abilities, let's pull everything out, would be looking following. We would take Decrepify, right click, Blight, into Corpse Explosion, Corpse Tendrils, Blood Mist, and then Blood Wave. That would be the standard setup. We need to get the Blood Wave cooldown as low as possible. For this, we're going to already put away our thingy. And we're going to be pulling out Lucky Hit Chance, cooldown reduction, and critical strike chance. Yeah, I actually need this one because that one is insane. It has everything, actually. Well, actually, critical strike chance is not needed in this one.
I need more time.
Interesting that I would say critical strike chance not needed. Yeah, but it's not. Problem. Because we're not going to go for critical strike, so we're really going to go for maximum damage over time. Which we usually don't go for, but this one is what we're doing. Find about a transmog, I did. So that maximum minion life can be rerolled into dexterity, into Lucky Hit Chance while you have Barrier. Ooh. I won't have Barrier, but that is the perfect thing for, wow. That thing is like literally godlike when it comes down to, oh, holy Christ, that is scary. Oh, if we would play X-Files Corroded Signet, that thing would be godlike. Oh, holy. That's a nasty one. I like that. Okay, Flicker Step might stay. Blood Moon Breaches are definitely going out. So Blood Moon Breaches are being sacrificed for my other pans. Where are my other pans? My perfect pair of pans. This is damage reduction, maximum life healing received. This is almost a perfect pair of pans that I've actually been using for quite a while. That is my perfect pair of Barrier pans. I'd actually use this one over that because this is like, can I reroll the healing received on this? Or did something reroll on these pans already? Oh yeah, this was already rerolled on the healing received. Unlucky.
I'm not ready yet.
I'm like thinking if I want to have like a pans with corpse explosion. This is corpse explosion. Yeah, this one might actually be better. So I don't have to destroy my... Yeah, this is better. Damage reduction, corpse explosion. Yeah, I like these more for my purpose right now. Okay, the Mutilator plate gotta go out. Mutilator plate could be more Lucky Hit Chance again. Question is rather how much Lucky Hit do we want? And if we actually work with Lucky Hit. So these are two very important questions that need to be answering. I mean, we could take Soulbrand here. That helmet goes out. Would prefer to play the Godslayer crown, but we're probably not going to go for the Godslayer crown. We're going to put that on. We don't even need corpse tendrils in this build. This is getting more and more interesting that we are not having to play the corpse tendril aspect. Because again, we're going to be boosting damage over time, okay? This might sound weird to you, chat, but it's all about damage over time and the maximum corpse explosion as well. So this is like what we're essentially looking at in the current circumstances. Okay, and that is Axumation. What I need, this is the first Paragon board for maximum corpse skill damage. So we have a shadow damage over time, corpse explosion, which does millions. We will need Blood Wave. Multicast. So we need, this is 51,000. This is fires 2 additional Blood Waves. Okay. This is 44%, 42%. Okay, that's good. It's low. 40,000. I'm currently looking for the damage, 51,000, 52,000. So this might be the highest I've seen so far. I'm currently looking like just for a very high damaging like shadow thingies. This is 52,000. Actually, we're gonna disenchant that one. Is Uber crafting bugged? You haven't gotten any. Did you really disenchant an Uber unique, or did you just disenchant something you thought was an Uber unique? Two different things. No offense, like, just asking. Right? Having fun with Trap Rogue and Shadow Necromancer. I have not seen Trap Rogue yet. This build is good for PvP. This build is insane for PvP because shadow damage over time is overtuned. I have played this multiple times in PvP right now, and for some reason, people just vanish. It is weird. Irgenvo, thank you for the 9 months of support. Irgenvo, very much appreciated. Thank you so much for joining us once again. That Flesh Eater can't be going there. No, it can be going there. Need to think about how to use this. So we obviously need Flesh Eater, but we don't need the crit because, again, we're focusing on damage over time for this. Okay, Chad? Just damage over time. Nothing else. Maximum damage over time. Here comes the Amplify Glyph comes in here. Then we're going to go into the Son of Death board. Son of Death was shit because now Son of Death I need later. I need Wither first. Why Son of Death shit? Because I can't go into that board twice. So it can only go into that board once. I need the Wither board though. I'm still trying to find out like a better way to use the Wither board. And I have to date not. Because technically the middle part of the Wither board is kind of useless. So like, I think I found a bit better way here because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? I could do 1, 2, 3, 4 and then go in here, but I need to do 5, 6 anyways. So I might as well just start like this, right? Kind of like the same in green. This is 4 and 2, and this is like just 5 in total and 1. This is shadow damage over time. That's a must. And that's like really tricky to do this because you need kind of this node, but you also want the other node. So it's kind of like a bit shitty here. You want to get like this as the damage to elites. You also want to go in there, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's like the same ingredient in both cases, apart from that we have to go there. You could go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then start going up here. That's also kind of useless. I hate this part of the board so much because I haven't found a way to deal with that part of the board in any capacity in. It just leads to me being very unhappy. Every single time I go into this board, I just end up being very unhappy. Now, obviously, if you go here to this intelligence point, right, it would make sense to, instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, you could do 1, 2, 3, 4, but then it's also 4 again, right, every single time. How much damage does the build do right now? This build here is going to do millions of damage with a corpse explosion. I mean, right now, this is 70,000 damage corpse explosion already. And we have our Shadow Blight key passive getting like a huge bonus over time. So this is going to be pushed very hard. The main part is to like boost your shadow damage a lot because we're turning the Blood Wave into shadow damage, right? The plan is to get the offhand here, for example, this one, and then we're going to turn it into shadow damage. And that is going to be our Blood Wave now doing 52,000 shadow damage. The problem is it doesn't show on the I hate this. It doesn't show on the tooltip, right? So it conjures a tidal wave of blood, 21,000 damage. But the Blood Wave creates a desecrated ground as it travels, dealing 52,000 shadow damage. So this 52,000 shadow damage is going to get boosted by all my shadow damage. So the base damage is 52,000. That means if my corpse explosion was 70,000, already deals millions with all the multipliers, guess what happens to the Blood Wave, which happens 3 times. Now I do need a ring, and that ring is supposedly just some random lucky hit chance ring. I don't need perfect equipment yet, lucky hit chance, but I need something close to perfection. So just something that I can use for this build here right now. Lucky maximum life, lucky hit, damage to distance, shadow damage. You see this one is this, yeah. That's what I'm talking about, chat. I mean, seriously, that's what I'm talking about. What we need to look out for is that here, this is my resistances, correct? And I can't actually play this one. I need to play this because there's so much damage, shadow damage over time multiplier. So now I need to see how can I do my resistance otherwise? Because we're at 53, 41, 41, 41, 53, right? So we're not really there. We need to fix this. Important. Do you have the aspect that is what we're planning to play? So the basic idea is get the cooldown as low as possible. Right now we're at 40 seconds, chat. So we already shaved off. So it's standard 50 seconds. I don't have cooldown reduction on the amulet, but I have a cooldown reduction amulet. So we're at like 50 seconds, I think, is base, right? 50 seconds is base, I think, for the skill. So we can bring it down to 40 seconds, which is nice. Then I have a helmet with cooldown reduction, actually. So we have a helm that has cooldown reduction too. Keep in mind that cooldown reduction has detrimental here. This is another 10%. So like that brings it down to 36. Amazing. And now I have an amulet also. I think cooldown I had an amulet with cooldown reduction that I was planning to use for this. Ranks infused by death, cooldown reduction. There you go. And intelligence. Intelligence is so important for this build. It's actually like, God, this is like, it's crazy how good this is. This one also has cooldown reduction and shadow damage over time, which is also so important for this build. Like I've been saving these up for this moment. Like I've been just sitting here waiting for my time. So the healing received can eat my ass. That is damage reduction while fortified. It's actually really good for this build because we're going to be fortified and it's a high roll. Jesus. I mean, I would prefer like max intelligence because the more intelligence I have, the better for this build. But I think I'm just going to stay with this right now. It's going to be really nice. The question will be to fit all of this together in a build. So what we need is currently also the Shadow Blight. Let me see if I have the Shadow Blight. Shadow Blight, Shadow Blight, Shadow Blight 120 roll. Sorry. Very excited for my Shadow Blight 120 roll that I had banged. So we do the Shadow Blight 120 roll for 180% multiplicative damage bonus, right? Then we also need the Blood Orb cooldown reduction. Blood Orb. So we do have Blood Orb, Blood Orb, Blood Orb. We do have this to go very low values. So this is 1.1. This is 1.4, right? 1.4, chat. I think I even have a 1.5. This is 1.3. So I have a 1.4, and I wanted to put that on my amulet.
I'm not ready yet.
Did you see gameplay on boss fight video today for No Rest for the Wicked? I don't know that name of the game yet. I am sorry. Okay, so Blood Orb cooldown reduction. So now if you do the math, guys, we're down to 33.52%, okay? 33.52%, which is nothing. If you consider that we get the ring with 1.4 per Blood Orb, and a Blood Wave is spawning 9 Blood Orbs. That means 9 times 1.5 seconds is how much? Chad, 9 times 1.5 seconds is how much? So another 13.5 being subtracted from this, plus the actual lucky hits we deal for Decrepify, right? So that all sounds plenty good for me. And on top of this, we currently have 50%, actually 60% lucky hit chance bonus. It's quite intense. Now we'll have to decipher, though, what we can do with our resistances, because our resistances are not there. Shadow resistance is up, as you can see. There's no question about that. We're missing either poison, cold, fire. We could do poison resistance by swapping a board, but for this, we'd actually have to... do this. And I would dislike that, but it will work. Because it gives us the poison resistance we need to essentially put us here. High up, right? High up enough to not ask any questions. Might not even need this one. Might be like later with enough intelligence, good enough. It's going to be missing out on 100 armor, but it's a choice like you can make here, right? I mean, there is no potion healing. Let's just... We do actually have an attack speed node? What? I never knew that we had an attack speed node. Well, that's interesting. Call me surprised. But I didn't know we had an attack speed node. I'll be damned. Feeling a little bit stupid. That's for sure. Ready to Minnesota, my friend? Hope you're feeling good. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We need the territorial glyph. Why the territorial glyph? Damage reduction, probably. I'm not sure if I can play something else. It's kind of like, I mean, technically, like this would also be good, but it might also be a little bit too much. Because we don't need sacrificial, so we just activate territorial here. Get the fuck out of this board. Into bone graft. So, like, bone graft is also just a board we're passing through, essentially. One of these just on the way boards. Even though I don't like in this one, we could play territorial because it's just so simple to activate on the way out. Yeah, he's just 15 dex. Take this one, that one, and lastly, we need the Send of Death board. I could do something I absolutely despise doing with the Send of Death board because we can go in from this side. I've never, like, this is actually something I would never consider, but you can go in from this side. Take the... Because we need to play the Desecration glyph. This is the main glyph for this. Oh, I am absolutely surprised that this worked out. Jesus fucking, this worked out so good. Wow. Hello, Maria and Joseph. This worked out so good. It has no right to work out so well. Here we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 glyphs activated. Shadow dot build. No, it's not just simply a shadow dot build. It's the shadow dot build, but without any kind of rings that trigger lucky hit. Okay, so we're not playing this with Xfeld. even though it feels so stupid to not play X-Felds. But the main reason we're not playing X-Felds is because we want our poop wave to have the lowest cooldown possible. So the plan is going to be, we don't have all the aspects on yet, guys. We don't have everything popping. I mean, we barely have like enough armor for this. But the plan is essentially to make as many corpses as possible. Surprise, right? But also to be able to, like, we're gonna start cursing, then we throw this in, then we poop wave, right? And we go in, pick up all these orbs, and look at my cooldown. Look at my cooldown, non-existent, poop wave again, right? Poop wave again, boom. Few corpse explosion, bam, 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 bam. Poop wave again, bam, poop wave. Does a lot of damage. Like, look at the 5 million, guys, 5 million, 5 million. You see this? 5 million, 6 million, 6 million. You see damage over time here? Chat, you see the damage over time here? Boom, poop wave. 5 million, 5 million, 5 million. and then boom, poop wave cooldown, poop wave. So you notice how this damage is absolutely incredible, right? Right off the house, without doing anything. Poop wave. Millions, 4 million, 4 million, 4 million, 4 million, more million, more million. Go into the blood might. More. Poop wave. And go, whoa, poop wave, and do it again. Poop wave. So you notice how, like, out of the house, like, this is 6 million, 5 million. This is just damage over time, right? This is taking over time, and then cooldown reduction. Poop wave. So yeah, and we don't even have any aspects, right? So this is like our glove aspect is for Bloodlands Blood Orbs currently. Our pans aspect doesn't even exist. What we could do with our pans not existing, Chan, I thought about something. What if we, with a very low cooldown, actually play T-Bolt's Will right now? T-Bolt's Will is usually absolutely not considered by any Necromancer anymore. But the thought is that T-Bolt's Will is actually back in action. You might make the wave work, but you use Bone Prism for cooldown. The thing is, the Bone Prism for cooldown is not a bad idea. But it doesn't add to the build. It makes it more clunky, if that makes sense, Tito. And the basic plan with this is you're essentially going to play a build that's zooming. Okay, we're not holding back. We're zooming into our opponents with the Blood Mist, and then we poop them, and then we go into Blood Mist again. It's like a coward's build, right? Because we're like, we go in, and then we go out, and then we go in, and then we go out, then we go in, and we go out. And it's like, pop, 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 pop. What you gonna do, you little shit? What you gonna do? Pop, 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 pop. And like, that's... That's how you're going to be zooming. They can't stop you, right? So we might actually be able to play T-Bolt's Will, and I get a 40% T-Bolt's Will, which makes me really happy. And this build should be an absolute boss killer, because you do see the damage over time. Like obviously the enemy, you gotta like kind of stand in that thingy. Now, we do need more armor, though, because that is one of my problems right now, the armor. I mean, our resistances are also, like, somewhat of an issue. But that can be overcome. Let me see if I can... So we can overcome that resistance issue somehow. What could I do to overcome the resistance issue? Well, I could put one more point in here, which would actually boost this tremendously. So that is definitely something we could do. Shave off the damage to elites, put a point in here. That's 3.7. 3.7 is a lot if you actually look at this, like, grand scheme of things, right? That's a lot. Shadow resistance is max. That was poison resistance. But if I choke out this poison resistance, I could put out another 1.5% here. I could put another 1. Let me choke this out here for a second. The 20% that I talked about. We're putting in another 1.5% here. See, like we're almost at the fire resistance cap without actually having to worry about this. So I just have to put lightning and cold in, and then potentially just get a little bit more intelligence, which is only at 800. But like this, I would be working with, yeah, fire and cold, and then we had that max cold end lightning. Kind of sad that I don't have anything to work in that way otherwise. Yes, we need to remove these stones finally out of my Black River and out of that. Because in this case, we need damage over time. Because again, we're not dealing any critical strikes. So critical strikes are out of the equation for this build. I know usually you would do critical strikes like crazy, but they are absolutely out of the equation. We need blight gloves. Where's my blight gloves at, Chad? 4 ranks in blight, lucky hit chance. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you very much. See, like, the amount of lucky hit chance I have is crazy, but we are having no armor, so I need a chest piece that is not soul brand. Soul brand is nice and all, but I need a chest piece with Juggernaut on it right now. So I need the absolute tank chest piece. This is maximum life, total armor, and physical damage. That is useless for what I'm doing. But don't tell me I don't actually have a chest for this. There's a world where I do not possess. This is total armor. Ultimate skill. This is actually nice because this is total armor and ultimate skill damage and more total armor. So this is like kind of what you really, really want. This is maximum life and damage to distant enemies, and I actually don't have a chest piece. Well, this is bad. For this, I mean, it's this one here. Okay, we re-roll maximum minion life into damage reduction from close. Hello, damage. When ultimate skill, oh god, this is so greedy. That makes absolutely no sense to do that. I'm totally in for that. This is the worst decision I've made in a long while. Well, this is going to bite my tail. When we're just going all in on damage here right now. Screw defense. Who needs defense anyways? Defense is for nerds. Okay, we're at 8,000 armor, and if I now get a Juggernaut aspect, a good one, I would be completely happy. Do I have a good Juggernaut? 4,000 should be, yeah, 4,000 is more than enough. Armor cap straight away, Chad. Okay, armor. And now comes the final question, Chad. Do you think we should consume for blood orbs? You forgot to upgrade your T-bolts. Oops. I thought I did that. Thank you very much for reminding me. So, do we make corpse consumption into blood orbs? Because that's a big valid question. Right? Yeah, like, hands can have another aspect, but that's up for debate right now. We got to see what we want to have. We can put another aspect on this. We could also use Hell from Below for even more damage multipliers. But I don't actually want to add another unique. We are currently armored out of our mind. That's actually going to be insane how much armor we're going to have. We could take for the helmet. We could take now here, like, blood orbs, corpse production, spawns, blood orbs to have actually our, corpses go crazy. I just don't see what other aspect I could be using. No, we could do the blood mist triggers corpse explosion. No. Okay, yeah. Okay, so step 1, we do the corpses because I just want to know how well that works. But step 2, you want to know what comes on this gloves, Chad? And it's the zooming aspect. This is what's going to transform the whole build into madness, okay? And it's the blood-soaked aspect. Why the blood-soaked aspect? Well, so the blood-soaked aspect makes my blood mist leave behind a trail of desecrated ground, and that desecrated ground multiplies all my damage. So as soon as I essentially go into the blood mist, I'm getting a 15% damage multiplier. Yes. So, why is that? Why is that? Let me explain, Chan. Let me explain. So we're using this very, very amazing glyph. And this very amazing glyph here is called Desecration. While standing in your desecrated ground, you deal 15% increased shadow damage. So that already means 15% increased shadow damage, 15% increased shadow damage with Blight. We get 21% increased shadow damage from our sacrifice bonus. So that alone is our multipliers, okay? Let's actually just straight up jump into a tier 100. And also, like, let me diss these here. I want to keep some normal ones because we want to also do tier 100 bosses. My only concern might be a little bit survivability and damage reduction because we don't have much. But this should be crazy. Okay. Oh, what we could put in is actually the Blight Void aspect as well. We pick up the blood orbs. So everything just died to one poop wave. Blood wave is already cooldown reduction, chat. We just entered. Channeling Shrine. Go through for a second. Did you notice how my blood wave once cast just kills everything? And right now we're using a channeling shrine, so that's OP anyways. Yes, I'm not even too shy to just use it on one unit. More than good enough for that. Or some different sources. All stones just randomly drop apart from the unique stones. They are only from Uber Malphus. So you notice how many blood orbs we have here? Boom, cooldown reduction. I mean, there's a world where I can even like say goodbye to Blight at this point. You know? There's a world where I legitimately can just say like screw Blight. Because why would I still be using Blight when I'm just like, you know. And off to the next one. 6 seconds on the blood wave. This is the first Necromancer build that actually has quite some movement speed. Pull everything together. Da, 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 da. And cooldown reduction again. Totally don't have to use it like on some weak weirdos, but why wouldn't you? We're just having fun with this. Like the normal damage is already incredible, but the blood orb cooldown reduction pickup is just stupid.
I'm not ready yet.
Everything that just walks into this just dies, and cooldown is already reduced again. This is working way smoother than has any right to work. I mean, the only thing I regret is that I essentially have to walk back quickly to kind of walk through all the blood orbs, right? So that's the only thing where I'm like, I don't like that much, because you kind of like got to go back through the blood orbs again to kind of be sure that everything triggers. But it's like out of the house already working insane, because now like see the blood wave makes all these blood orbs, and the blood orbs give me cooldown reduction. Look again, 10 seconds, we're there, right? But it's not like I need the blood wave, because as you can see, like I go in here and everything just dies anyways, and then I make more blood orbs. But yeah, this is it, chat. This is the poopmancer. How are we liking it? I mean, although my corpse explosions are also like absolutely insane damage. Right, cooldown reduction already cooldown reduced. We really don't need the blight. I could play double curse. Chad, I could play double curse in this build. It's actually the crazy part is that we could decide that double curse is just what we want to play. And see blood wave already again. Oh no, double wave. Oh, we have triple wave. Don't worry. Oh, wait, we don't have triple wave. No, we forgot triple wave. Oh my goodness, we don't even have triple wave. I picked it up and we didn't even equip it. Oh no, we have to get it in too. I'm actually playing this without triple wave and it's working this well. That's illegal. That makes me very worried about this build because it's working so good. It's like levels of illegal that shouldn't be okay. How does this do on a boss? Well, that's the crazy part. It does do insane on a boss. Okay, so you see how I'm doing millions of shadow damage over time. I can show you on Varshan right now because Varshan is the only materials I have actually. So that's sorry for me. I don't have any Duriel right now, so to show you on Duriel, but we can try to get to a tier 100 boss, even though tier 100 bosses are overtuned. Okay, well that makes things a little bit complicated now, chat, because how do I get that freaking thing? I could drop the Black River, but I kind of don't want to drop the Black River. Could drop the Black River, but I don't want to drop the Black River. No, no, no. Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, don't forget, guys, we have Evernight going, and Evernight gives more levels to Corpse Explosion. Funny story, though, that Evernight is actually useless for this build. Because we're not in need of the bonus ranks on the Poop Wave or the Blind. But on the Blood Mist is actually kind of good. So, $1. Thank you for the 57 months. Sapphires, thank you for the brand new sub. And also Dark Soul Geek. Dankeschön for the 4 months of support. Welcome to all of you. And a pleasure to have you with us. It's the Infinite Poop Wave build. That's the plan. Which Necro build is the strongest right now? I mean, this one will be one of the strongest builds, actually. I'm not even kidding. Justin, we can show you. Also, like, asking your question twice in a row without pause won't make it be answered faster. Okay, so if we want to have the triple Blood Wave, and this is where we're coming back to problematic territories again, we have to potentially drop the Blood-Soaked Aspect, which I really don't want to drop. Yeah, so that's like we wanted to play the Blood-Soaked Aspect from the very beginning on, but yeah. The Blood-Soaked Aspect is an offensive aspect, so we could drop the Ring of Sacrilegious Souls now. So you could say, Pony, maybe the Ring of Sacrilegious Souls doesn't make sense, and hear me out, Chad. Why doesn't the Ring of Sacrilegious Soul make sense? Because we're doing corpse explosions with the Black River, right? But the corpse explosion with the Black River consumes so many corpses that we actually don't rely on automatic corpse explosions anymore. So technically that's the one to drop. I hate that that's the one to drop. Okay, we need a lucky hit ring. And not one of the good ones. One with shadow damage over time. No X-Felt. Where are all my rings? What did I do with all... I had so many rings. Where are they? What did I do? What did I do to all my rings? I had so many. Wait, seriously, I had so many. Where did they all go? It has damage over time, damage to stunned. Oh, Jesus, I hate that I'm gonna be having to overcast you, but it is what it is. I'm sorry. Not sure if I'm allowed to say this, but every bit of all creators goes strongest build. Burn-in, you have to understand. So very important. You have to understand two things. I mean, first and foremost, like, you got to stand out of a crowd of thousands of videos. So obviously you have to have your standout argument. Like, this is technically the best build in the game. Yeah. I mean, realistically, that's what it has to be. I mean, obviously some creators are overdoing it. They're calling every build the trillion damage build. That's just not true. We all know that not every build is the trillion damage build. So you gotta choose for yourself which creator you would like to follow that sticks closest to their promises, right? That the builds are actually good, not just clickbait. The Plague Necro, yeah, we should probably call it Plague Necro, but Poopmancer is just what it is. I mean, like, it is the Plague Necro. Yes, you're right, but Poopmancer just stuck with me. Okay, so we are now officially having the triple blood wave, and someone wanted to see a boss fight. So I do have currently only Varshan. So we do Varshan, and then we try to do a normal dungeon so I can show you tier 100 boss, okay?
I need more time.
Mm-hmm. So does this build overkill the one-hit kill corpse explosion? The one-hit kill corpse explosion is safer to play, and it does more damage with one hit. So the one-hit kill corpse explosion can do 20 million corpse explosions. I do 20 million as well with my blood wave, but the problem is that the blood wave needs 4 seconds for that. Okay, and that's the big difference. Okay, where that's damage over time, right? What do we need to run a tier 100 as a Necro? You need nothing to run a tier 100 as a Necro. This video here, you might have missed this, guys, but this video from this morning, this one here, left, delete your character, what the fuck, this one here, is our Penny Necro challenge. Only Codex of Power aspects, only items from merchants, and we beat a tier 100 dungeon. So you don't need any of this, you just need to understand the game. Okay? So here we have Varshan, we poop on him. And look how his poor HP is just like, you know. And I can already get another blood wave. That's the funny part, right? So we do this, we can already get another, bam. Oh, I forget I have to do corpse explosions, oops. I was so waiting for my corpse explosions to happen that I kind of forget to do the corpse explosions myself. But yeah, you notice how fast he actually dies when I do corpse explosions. Oops. Well, this is going to take some little bit getting used to because I'm not used to actually doing my corpse explosions myself. But yeah, like you just literally poop on them. It's the beauty of this build. Let's see. Do we have a tier 100 dungeon with a boss? Mercy's Reach had a boss, right? I'm not mistaken. Yeah, run it back with C. Like, that's like you just corpse explosion. It's crazy. But like, I need to think about this. So it's usually you poop wave, then you corpse explosion while you're poop waving, and you do the other things. I'm just not used to this anymore. I might actually have to put in the corpse explosion aspect. So we might have to cull the boots. Even though like, so the boots don't want to be culled, and you know why you don't actually want to get rid of the boots? Because the boots are giving you 80% ultimate skill damage plus, which is frankly spoken quite insane. Right? And 80% ultimate skill damage is quite something. They will pull everything together. How quick everyone is just dying. Beautiful. Loses a bit of the automation future due to having to, like, you know, manually do things, but we're fine. Can you show Uber Lilith with this build? The funny part about this build versus Uber Lilith is that it's one of the few builds that actually does have the movement speed to actually contend with Uber Lilith, because a lot of the Necro builds don't actually have the movement speed to contend with that. I feel like I currently need the the corpse explosion aspect. Because now I could like zoom in and get my corpse explosions. Hier, poop. Na bitte Mäuschen, was machst du denn hier? Oh, that wasn't intended. Does Black River help? Black River helps, but not in size of the explosion. As you can see, the explosion is tiny, but Black River makes the, like, it consumes 5 corpses at the same time, and all these corpses consumed can make blood orbs. So that's the interesting part about Black River with corpse consumption into blood orbs. That the actual, sorry, I was on a different screen. That the actual Black River, in this case, like here, again, watch this, boom, and this, and see there's multiple blood orbs coming out. And so on. So this is like where Black River is actually really nasty for this. Wer hat dich denn runtergelassen? Hm? Du wolltest selbst runter? Wer hat das denn erlaubt? See how everything just got killed there? Hm? Wie bitte? Mama hat dich runtergelassen? Die Verbrecherin. Die wollte bestimmt ein bisschen ihre Ruhe oben haben, oder? Ach so. Hm. Okay, pick up all this stuff. We're essentially just pushing to get the boss right now here. Pick up all these blood orbs. Blood orbs heal you, by the way, so that's also kind of nice, right? So you just get a like a passive source of healing of everything. I don't like how much damage you're taking, but I think this is just an item question right now. I'm missing out a lot of max life. Like I'm only at 14,000 max life currently, which is actually kind of weak. Right? And the back-to-back pooping. Pop, 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 and you're all dead. Oh no, I get killed by some stupid lightning. We're still gonna get used to like essentially being not buried because we're playing this unburied, right? But also like with the T-bolts will and everything, we're struggling a bit on the defensive department because our amount of defensive rolls is quite low. Look, this is why Bloodwave is amazing, chat. Everything just got bullied. Okay? Everything literally just got bullied to death. Er lass bei mir. Ja. Warte, ich kann nicht gleich auf den Schuss nehmen, Schatz. Ich muss nur gucken, dass ich nicht umgebracht werde. Bone Spear Shadowblight build, it's not so good. We tried out the Shadowblight Bone Spear build. The problem with the Shadowblight Bone Spear build is that everything dies. Right? Viking, the only reason we have a build for the pens right now is that we have the cooldown reduction for it. Nee, momentan nicht. Das ist jetzt ein anderer. Da kannst du keine 2 drücken. Hier muss ich ein bisschen mehr selber machen. Yeah, this girl is very ill. She slept all morning. She said she woke up at 6:30. Ja, das weiß ich. She woke up at 6:30. Then was awake for a little bit and then instantly passed out again. She's been very, very ill. Aber ich habe sie alle mit einer, das nennt man eine Pupswelle. Weil sie aussieht wie ein großer Pups. Soll ich nochmal zeigen? That's what I call the poopmancer, chat. It's a poop wave. Pupswelle! Siehst du? Sieht das aus wie eine Pupswelle? Oder eine Matschwelle? Aber Pupswelle klingt witziger, oder? Mhm. And the lady has style. Oh yeah, sure. You shoot me from the abyss. Play, in case you wonder why am I circling after doing the poop wave, guys. It's all for actually getting the blood orbs. So why are we even in a dungeon? Well, it's about tier 100 bosses. We just wanted to quickly do a tier 100 boss so I can show you. Even though this one is like, I think, not the perfect adversary. The Tomb Lord. Now I'm running through this, right? To get the poop wave back up. And another round of going through him, using all the corpse explosions. See, he just walks out of my corpse explosions. That's why I hate him. Get the cooldown reduction. Cooldown reduction, poop wave again. Ach, der fällt gleich um, keine Sorge. Unlucky that you walked out of my poop wave again. I need to go invincible for more damage. Oh, my blood orbs. I just really like the cooldown reduction on the poop wave. So good. Yeah, you need to do poop wave, then get the bonus damage, then go in here. Because this is like essentially your ultimate damage, right? So you get the poop wave damage, then you stack that together with T-Bolts. Der teleportiert sich, ja, der ist ein Stinker. And then... My bag is too full. Ja, wir haben gewonnen, weil wir besser sind. You and your enemies deal... Like, I think I need to get the Scorch Glyph in. Der Gelb und der Blau. Wir sind der in der Mitte, ich zeig dir. It's been a long time since I saw Steinberg Dungeons. It's only there for tier 100 bosses. I mean, this is definitely not the tier 100 boss to do this on. He's like literally the one boss who just walks out of your shit the whole time. Literally, right? Where other bosses are just like standing still and essentially taking the punishment. So that's a little bit of a doozy. I don't think I have another boss dungeon where he essentially just stands there. Any Uber drops on vaults? No, but the drop chances were essentially changed that now every 8,000 helmets, for example. So we need to find a different tier 100 with a boss that likes to take punishment. Shifter Ruins. Shifter Ruins didn't have a boss, right? Betrayer's Row, Path of the Blind. Betrayer's Row. Betrayer's Row. Betrayer's Row have a... I don't know. Trying to think about which bosses there are. So yeah, they changed the drop rates of Uber uniques, and there was some data mine efforts happening, Chad, to unearth how much that was changed. Seems like a Heimwaffe. Oh well. That's death pulse, that's bad. So some people, by the way, asked, why not Temerity? And technically, Temerity is truly an option. Because Temerity provides barrier on heal, overheal. But only to 80% of your max HP. And, well, that's the problem, right? The limit there in... and not infinite like Canberra, because we will get a lot of heal here, as you can see, if I pick up all these blood orbs and don't run into all the into all the explosions and everything. So if we do that, right, we get some heal. But then with the next hit, that heal is already gone. It's kind of like temerity is like, unless you have a constant source of healing, it's like such a weird stopgap measure. It doesn't actually contribute much in your general survivability. Well, we could definitely exchange the T-Ball's will pans for... Ja, die machen Blitze. Ah, Robby macht Blitze. Ja, Robby schießt Blitze. Das ist wahr. Das heißt Tempest. Tempest macht ja. So heißen die Blitze. Bist du da? Bist du? Oh, that's that. I was actually looking for. It's kind of like the question: how do we squeeze out a bit more survivability into the build? But technically, the build doesn't need more survivability, because we have 14,000 armor, right? We have all the survivability you could ever ask for. Yeah, and that's the family 2.0. Give me a second. Okay. Does Diablo 4 have local couch co-op? As far as I know, yes. So yeah, we're talking about more survivability, and that could just be a pants with different damage reduction things, right? Right? And now we're walking through this. See, like, explode this a bit. I feel like I do want my ring back. Chad, what do you think? Do we want the ring of sacrilegious souls back for laziness reasons? Well, we don't need them for gameplay reasons. But I feel like I want them for laziness reasons back. I'm not sure if that's good reasons to want something back, but I really do. I think I have become that lazy, Chad. I'm sorry. I am the problem. I'm also genuinely considering playing double curse. For double curse, we need another offense. Oh, that's actually an opponent we need to kill. Oops. And I missed that part. Yeah. Well, he needs to, like, die. Oopsie. See, blood wave cooldown already blood waving. One thing I miss is just the one bonus corpse tendril to just make more. Ow. See, he's just taking so much damage. The one bonus corpse tendrils that just allows us to get more blood orbs. That's what I'm missing the most. You know? And we'll either have to like after this dungeon, we'll have to do some soul searching quickly on upgrades for the build. I think I know what we need. Huh? When was there anyone that could do this to me? I'm just confused. Who did this to me? Who is there? Did we not kill everyone down there? Damn. I think we need potentially drop the boots. Even though the boots are like damage galore, right? What does damage galore use you when we're just randomly dying to weirdness? Also, why are you healing? Oh, there's the next blood. Ah! I'm not sure how I'm managing myself to die there. Your setting point was hard to see, right? Can you play normal pens with Shielding Storm and Bone Storm instead of Blight? No, I have Blood Wave. Right, so the whole idea is footing on the Blood Wave, right? So Bone Storm is not an option if you Blood Wave. Okay, so we get the triple wave, but the triple wave, I also work with a single wave. So the crazy part is that it also work with a single wave, right? We have the Juggernaut that's working out. We have our resistances that are working out. We have, right now, we probably have to drop Blood Soak then. So we could change the pants out for something that's more resisty if we wanted to. We could change the boots out for the Corpse Explosion. We could change the pants out for the Corpse Explosion. If I change the pants out for the Corpse Explosion, I wouldn't need Sacrilegious Ring. Let's try that. Let's try that. I think that could be... I would for Fate damage. Some damage. Oh wait, my pants cannot have this. My chest needs to have this. I forgot pants cannot have... Here, as you can see, this can only go on my chest. And then my pants can have different Juggernaut. Actually, I don't even need the different Juggernaut. I could probably just play Disobedience. Try this one out just from where it feels. How it feels. That's triple Blood Wave now in a Nightmare Dungeon and Nightmare Vault. Can you explain the difference between Shadow and Desecrated Ground? Desecrated Ground is only Desecrated Ground. So Desecrated Ground is Shadow damage, but not every Shadow damage is Desecrated Ground. Okay? So it needs to say explicitly Desecrated Ground. For example, Blood Wave makes Desecrated Ground. Okay? Explicitly states that it makes Desecrated Ground. Whereas, Blight, for example, makes a Pool of Blight. These are two different, right? Like the Pool of Blight is not Desecrated Ground. It's a Pool of Blight. I'm not sure why this is lagging. Okay, right now with the Corpse Explosion aspect, it feels way smoother because we're getting like Blood Orbs for Corpse Explosioning. So we Blood Wave, right? We Blood Mist in. The Blood Mist automatically explodes corpses to make even more Blood Orbs. Then we just zoom through. Then we get like more Blood Orbs. And then, yeah. We're already at the position where we're just an absolute freaking menace. Okay. Yeah. This is working exactly how I wanted it to. So your latest Bloodlines video is better for the Bone Spear. I mean, like, so I think that the Bone Spear Corpse Explosion build will be better than the Bloodlands build. But it's, again, just another Corpse Explosion build. So you gotta like choose what you want to play. Do you want to play just another Corpse Explosion build? I mean, just another Corpse Explosion build that would be so good that you'll just lose your virginity all over again. But end of the day, just another... See, like, my blood... Look at the cooldown, chat. Look at the Blood Wave cooldown. That's ridiculous. I mean, seriously, what is this? With a Corpse Explosion, with a forced Corpse Explosion right now, right? Like, and cooldown reduction again. That was a great lag. I really cherish that lag. I appreciate it. If you would lag again, please. I mean, seriously, what is this, chat? Like, and cooldown back again. So what's happening is essentially that the Blood Wave is making very many corpses with lucky hit chance already, correct? Then my Blood Mist is exploding these corpses, but what you need to keep in mind is that the Blood Mist explodes 5 corpses straight away because of Black River. And if it explodes 5 corpses right away, it also makes... It also can make up to 5 blood orbs. But one thing that we actually haven't said yet is that whenever I'm dashing through enemies, I'm also getting Blood Mist cooldown. Right, Chad? So whenever Blood Mist is actually pushing enemies away, right? And then I dash through said enemies, I'm also getting Blood Mist cooldown. Because that is actually how the how my boots work. And that's why the boots are so good for this build. Because you have Blood Mist, right? Which bullies people. And then I dash through them, and there's another 2.8 second cooldown reduction for every enemy that you have dashed through. The only thing that we're essentially missing would be still the automatic corpse explosion and everything, so but I don't think we're actually missing that. Blood Wave. See, now I'm just gonna go with a normal Blood Wave cooldown without like walking through my blood orbs. So we just curse, just go through, right? Pull them together, dash one single time through, and Blood Wave is almost there again. Dash through these, Blood Wave. Beautiful bullying build, Chan. Is this beautiful? Does this look beautiful to you? To me it does. And this is also why I don't want to play Juggernaut, because if you play Juggernaut you have less dashing potential, right? Because Juggernaut reduces your dashing potential. As you can see, we pretty much have like everything maximum up at all times. We're now with a new pair of pens. We're having 2 more cases of damage reduction happening, and that's another 20% plus on damage reduction, which is actually significant. And Vault End Room. It's more funny how Blight is like completely useless to me, right? So I'm essentially having Blight, I'm playing Blight, but I feel like if I have or play Blight or not, here, there's the Blood Wave in, do some corpse explosions, pull them together, Blood Mist a little bit through. Oh, Blood Wave again, poop them together, right? Up, corpse explosion, pull them together. Blood Wave in. Oh, blood Wave again. Boop. Blood Mist. Oh, you know what? Poop Wave again. Your Black River, your Little Swell's a minimum roll. Don't worry, minimum roll Litless is still insane. Minimum roll Litless is absolutely insane, so please do not feel disencouraged. You get a killer item regardless. Now the question rather is, do we need to change a glyph, chat? What do you think? Could we get more out of this? Didn't know the wave creates corpses. Well, the wave has a 29% lucky hit chance or 28% lucky hit chance. 29 or 28% lucky hit chance with the standard 25% lucky hit chance to make corpses, or the 48% lucky hit chance against bosses, does actually make quite some corpses as well. So the wave, obviously, with all the damage over time, does have a chance to make corpses too, right? And it's a triple wave. That means it's a triple layered wave, and each wave is 4 seconds long. So you have 3 waves that are each 4 seconds long, right? I think it said 4 seconds. Each wave is 4 seconds long. So you have 12 seconds of waves as well happening that will do nuisance numbers on your opponents. Technically, Black River is unnecessary for the build. So Black River is just me like pampering the numbers because it's kind of nice to get like super insane like damages, right? Right now, what do we add? Like that we put the pens away, Chad. We put the pants away. We cut a little bit into our damage. We're not put aspect on a wand because we need blood like river, or what do you mean? Well, if we would play a wand, then we could play the ring again. But then our corpse explosions would be weaker, so I don't think the ring would be worth it to do that. You know? Let's elite training dummy, multiple training dummies. Especially not with the amount of corpses that we actually create. You see, this is still like millions. Like that one went up to 4 million now. Poop wave. 5 million. I saw 5 million corpse explosion, Chan. Damage is just good. Use of the empty tomb? No, because again, ultimate skill damage. So this is 80% ultimate skill damage. Now, again, like, I don't know if this actually scales up the desecrated ground as it should, because it says Bloodwave creates desecrated ground, dealing 52,000 shadow damage over 4 seconds, right? But that 52,000 shadow damage over 4 seconds is obviously being influenced by all the things I'm dealing. But the question is, does it also get the plus 80% ultimate skill damage? Because technically it should get that, right? Because again, it says it deals this much damage, but it's the blood wave, but it should then push the damage by the 80%. I do not know this for a fact. Okay. It is something I surmise, and it's kind of like iffy to actually test. Does Bastion of Face have a boss, Chan? Alpha Tiger, a Shadow Dot build. Well, there is a Shadow Dot crit build and a full Shadow Dot Dot build. I mean, this is the most Shadow Dot Dot you'll definitely be finding. At the end of the day, there's like no more attacking into Shadow Dot than we're doing here right now. Desecrated Ground is the ultimate Shadow Dot Dot power fantasy. There's no more Shadow Dot Dot power fantasying than this. Ow, I hate this. I hate Bastion of Face. Because you're simply, you are simply, like, with a Blood Wave and Desecrated Ground, there's a scalar that you just don't... Why is he back there? There's a scalar you don't have, like, in any other build. Desecrated Ground is just nasty in general. There is one weird thing, though, and you'll notice this when you actually start using Blood Wave. Blood Wave seems to be healing sometimes. And I have never found an explanation for this, so you'll notice this, like, look at the HP the dude has. And when we Blood Wave him, and I need to find an opponent to show this. Like, when you Blood Wave someone, it sometimes feels like you're actually, like, their life bar is going, like, up and down for no reason. It's really weird. So let's poop him into the wall. And now look at the life bar he has. It's like, it's like, I have no way to put this into words and explain this properly. But it's like, they should be taking damage. And then, see, like, did you see how his life bar was, like, going up and down and chunking around? And this is the one is here. None where they... Oh, this is 60% shadow damage over time resist. I'm wondering, why am I not doing any damage? Great. This is not what I wanted to do. I'm like, something feels odd. We're not doing the damage we're supposed to deal. Guess what? I'm just trying to find a dungeon with a tier 100 boss. Does this have a boss? Sudden realization. Yeah, you know when something is off when your shadow damage over time doesn't deal a lot of damage, right? You just know something is off, like by far. And I'm not willing to go through that because it's just annoying. I'm just trying to remember. This one does not have a boss, Jesus, really? Okay, does Elderwood has a boss. I'm pretty certain. Elderwood has one of these standing still bosses, actually. Pretty sure Elderwood has one. Alexander, there's no evidence. No. Tier 100 doesn't drop better. No one ever said that tier 100 drops better, Alexander. Nightmare dungeons, but like, as soon as your opponent is level 85 plus, Uber Uniques can drop. No one ever claimed that you need to go for tier 100s. I just don't do any dungeons under tier 100 because why would I waste my time with that? Even though it makes no sense, because it makes also no sense to do tier 100 dungeons, right? I mean, tier 100 dungeons are by nature a waste of time. In case you didn't know this, because tier 90s do the same. See, now with our shadow damage over time, guys, when they're suddenly not resisting 80% of the damage, yeah. Surprise, they actually die, huh? Who would have guessed? Surprise, who would have guessed? They actually die. Okay, where's the last Elderkin here? Yeah, tier 100s are just... Like, see, in my humble opinion, guys, a tier 100 dungeon, the hardest content in the game, should have higher drop chances for everything. It should have higher unique drop chances. It should have higher uber unique drop chances. I mean, why do we have tier 100 dungeons if they don't do anything? Why do we have them? Like there's apart from better glyph XP, there's absolutely no reason to ever step a foot into a tier 100 dungeon. And even for better glyph XP, there's no reason, because you can just do a tier 90 faster and get the equivalent amount of glyph XP. So why do tier 100s even exist? 100 is a nice number. It is. But if there was at least a benefit, because right now the game only punishes for doing tier 100s. Because in order to do tier 100s, you need to push your armor up so far. You need to push your life up really far, and all, like, you know, you need to min-max like your whole stats so much just for tier 100s to a point where you're just like, this, you know, why do I even bother? Look at the amount of blood orbs there, by the way. That's funny, right? Okay, blood orbs collected. Everything cooldowned again. Oh, great. That was definitely not what I wanted. Okay, now we finally have a boss who's standing still. No, wait a second. I got robbed. I was saying, well, like, funny, we're having a boss who's standing still, who's going to be, like, inside our thingies, but I forgot we're not. See, now look closely at her HP, guys. And there's something weird going on with Bloodwave, okay? You notice she's chunking down, right? And now if you do Bloodwave... Oh, shit. Like, oh, my goodness, I am trying to show chat something. Could you, for the love of God, just for a second, not be annoying and just, like, let me, like, show chat something? See, like, look at her HP where it's, like, moving weirdly up. Do you notice how... Did you see that? Did you see that? This... And I don't know what that is and why that is. I've never figured it out. Do you have to buy the skin for every class? I mean, the skin I just bought here is a Necromancer skin, so it wouldn't work on a There could be some bug with the damage scalers. I think Alpha Tiger, what the bug is, he does the shadow damage, and then he heals for the physical damage, and then he does the shadow damage and heals for the physical damage. And I have no confirmation for this, but this is how it kind of feels. So did you notice how like a tier 100 boss can go down with this? Like, right? You just poop on it and it goes down really fast. Well, we can just do like Lilith for a second to just see how the damage feels versus her. Even though I have not like done much Lilith this season, it's useless. Did you use Temerity Pants for shield? No, because you would use Temerity to get a little bit of shield, and then one hit already burns the shield, and the shield would be useless. It's just like, what for? I mean, I appreciate that you're actually interested in using Temerity, and I like Temerity. But yeah, I mean, Temerity, huh? And we could try it out if you want to. Right now, I don't feel squishy anymore. I mean, sure, we take some damage in the dungeon, guys, but this is damage taken due to speed reasons. Sorkin, we will finish today. So this is damage we're taking because we're zooming too hard, right? Because we're going too hard. I think we're going to change some Paragon points, chat, and then you'll decide how you feel about this. We could put some more defensive Paragons in instead of offensive Paragons because we're obviously doing enough damage, right? We don't need to... We need to do more damage. You know, like you're just also like hurting mommy, right? Oh great. Just run out of my poop wave. Doesn't matter. Just pick up everything. Pull these nerds together. Oh, did I just miss my poop wave completely? I did. Like probably the biggest problem with Lilith, right? She just leaves my existing, and then I die. so she just leaves your existing pools over damage time, and then it gets annoying, right? Do you know if Army of the Dead can proc Curse with Blood Moon Breaches? No, because Army of the Dead is not minions. They're just skeletons that come and explode. So they're volatile skeletons. They don't count as minions. They don't have an HP. They're just like this entity that comes and goes and then stops existing. I think one way to do better on the Lilith fight would potentially be doing what is it called again? When you... If we swap the Blight out for... for Reeb? Do that. Because right now we're essentially having the Reap going on, right? That's a lot of blood orbs. Why are you doing this again, Lilith? Yeah. Biggest problem for me is their frustrating damn blood wave attacks. They're so frustrating to avoid. I mean, her blood wave attacks are easy to avoid, as long as you have blood mist. But I need to use my blood waves for damage. But Lilith is not having anything for today. For Lilith, I prefer this build here. Where is it? This one. But X-Fel's Corroded Signet gives you damage. The thing is, this is not an X-Fel's build because look at my critical strike chance, which is 22.3%. Actually, I'm not making a good point here. So look at my critical strike chance, guys, but actually look at my critical strike damage. Right? So this is why you're not going to be playing X-Fel's. Because it's just not worth it for this build. Right? Because damage over time can critical strike. Simple, right? Damage over time can critical strike. Okay, now, so we could go for the... Scorch. Scorch gives us more damage over time. I mean, we have darkness back here. Darkness is shadow damage. Gekauft. Ich weiß es nicht. Ich weiß es wirklich nicht. Ich bin alt und kann mich an viele Dinge nicht mehr erinnern. Nein, also ich weiß es wirklich gerade nicht. Ich könnte dir keine 100% Antwort geben. Bitte beißen Sie mich nicht. Ich weiß es nicht. Hallo? Türen, sind Sie in einem Stall aufgewachsen? In einem Stall! Okay. Sorry. Sorry for the German outrage, chat. Christina, sind Sie in einem Stall aufgewachsen? Danke, ja, in einem Stall. So you're saying, did you grow up in a barn when someone leaves the door open? I'm pretty sure you have something like that in your language as well, Chad. It is also when someone is slamming the door of your car. You know, when some people leave a car and they slam the door, which is a no-no. Then you're going to yell at them and say that this is not a tank. In Germany, it's das ist kein Panzer. Because you don't have to slam the door of a car, right? But of a tank, you would have to slam the door. Yeah, with that damage over time glyph, we're even like, we're harder, chat. I mean, we're already going hard, but now we're going even harder. Like this. That makes me happy. Oh, we could still drop the blight and potentially play Reap instead. Gotta get used to always engaging with Blood Mist. I tend to still just walk into opponents and there's actually no reason to do that. So why would you play Reap over Blight? Because Reap would provide like an initial corpse essentially. Like you would just walk up, Reap, and then corpse. You make a good Sever build? Nope. And the reason is that Sever is chalked. We talked about this many times in the past, but Sever is sadly the best looking skill of the game. Has at the same time the most useless aspects paired together with the most useless skill orientations. So you're essentially having a skill that is absolutely unloved by Blizzard. Like Sever is a failed design concept. Once again, Necro has many failed design concepts, right? And Sever is one of them, where like Sever makes no sense. The existence of Sever makes no sense. And that's the best way how I can say this, because simply the way how the skill works and the way how the aspects interact with the scale all don't make don't make sense. So Sever is one of these where you're like, did you run out of interns to make this? Right? I have one question. Did you run out of interns? Because otherwise, like, why Blizzard? Did your competent class designer have a day of vacation? I mean, Sever is cool, don't get me wrong, but if you have a skill where all the key aspects for the skill are shite, how are you going to use that skill? Tell me. Tell me. Tell me. Like you have a skill that has like a very technically good aspect. Only that aspect is complete shite. So what are you gonna do now? Oh, look, that wolfie wanted to touch me, but I didn't want to get touched. So no, 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 no. I want Sever to be good too, don't get me wrong. Kadir, good to see you there. Mahaba, my friend. Sever's beautiful. It is beautiful. Sever's an absolute beautiful skill. But Sever has two complete useless... Like, I'll keep on my Sever rant in a second. So remind me to keep ranting about Sever in a second, okay, Chan? When we're done with this dungeon, I can tell you why Sever's a goddamn joke. Okay? after we're done there. Kadir, stop gifting away memberships. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Jansen, for 32 months of support. But also shout out to Kadir for his 20 memberships over on the YouTube. Like, stop it, sir. You can't keep on with this every day. Like, your accountant is going to complain. But welcome to our 20 new members over on the YouTube. See, like, we're just standing here. We're not even moving at this point, guys. we're just standing there and we're shooting out poop waves, and then we get like more cooldowns, and then we shoot out more poop waves. This is a build where I essentially have to just walk from one side of the dungeon to the other side to have my to pick up my blood orbs for the cooldown reduction. It's actually working so good. It's stupid. So let's keep ranting about Sever, okay? I wasn't done. For the people that are interested, why is Sever so horrible? Teleport out of the dungeon, and we can go on. Give me a second. What if I use a fire focus with shadow damage support? What? What? So first, Sever is useless. So Sever does damage and then return damage. Good. 28% lucky hit chance. What is that joke, guys? What is that joke? 28% lucky hit chance. This has 71%. This has 47%, and this has 57%. So high lucky hit chance, right? 28. Bullshit. First one is cool. 40% bonus damage. Amazing. Kind of nice. But then every third cast makes enemies vulnerable. You have to cast 3 Severs, guys. 3. They cost 20 essence. You have to spend 60 essence to make someone vulnerable. Or you get more damage if you have minions. But if you choose to have minions, you can't scale Sever and your whole build gets ruined. So that's shit. You know? Now, Sever scales of crit. Okay, that's cool. Sever scales of crit. The only thing that in shadow damage scales of crit is Ixfeld's Corroded Signet. Okay? So if you play Ixfeld's Corroded Signet, which scales of lucky hit, but of crit as well, then you're using Sever, which is the shadow skill with the lowest lucky hit. Make it make sense for a second. Okay? Make it make sense for a second. One thing I noticed, Chad, by the way, for taking the gloves with a blood mist, desecrated ground, and for swapping the ring out, one thing that we lost is 3 ranks in all corpse skills. Didn't actually put that into the equation right now. So we put away our Ring of Sacrilegious Souls, right? Which kind of dumps our corpse explosion to be only 9 out of 5 instead of 12 and 15 out of 5. So that's definitely a bummer, I have to say. Because I do like all the ranks in the corpse skills. So we kind of weakened like our corpse skills. Bit of a bummer. So yeah, that's why Sever is just horrible for many reasons. It's just like, on paper, it looks like a very cool skill. And no one says that you can't make a Sever build. You can make a Sever build. But the problem is you're just turning in circles and you're essentially like never going to come out with something that's truly extraordinary. Sever did work in season 1 because of the Barber Hard. But then everything in season 1 worked because of the Barber Hard. Everything. What are you doing right now? We are testing right now out the Bloodwave build. The Bloodwave Shadow Mist build. And I'm trying to decide what I want to keep. I'm trying to decide what I want to keep and how I want to make the build be building. I mean, I already like the build the way it is. And I think the concept is already sound. Empowering Reaper is an actual really good aspect. No, Empowering Reaper is not a good aspect because it can only appear every 3 or 4 seconds. It's bullshit. If they would take away the actual second requirement of Empowering Reaper, which would make only sense to do, then it would be good. Only then, though. Otherwise, it's just the biggest joke in existence. I mean, you're making an aspect that is reliant on critical strikes, and then you also make that aspect only happen every 8 seconds. Some of these design decisions, they're like, I think they're made because they're scared of certain things being too strong, but then we actually never saw these things in too strong. You know, it's like a precaution that doesn't make sense. Kind of like, okay, we're a little bit scared. This will turn out to be too powerful, and that's why we're already making it horrible to begin with. I mean, we essentially have aspects in the game for Necro that are just literally not they haven't been used since season 1. There's not like and they even buffed that aspect so people would use it. It's still not being used. What does that tell you, Chad? What does that tell you? If the aspect exists since the start of the game, since the game exists, and it has never been used, what would that indicate, ladies and gentlemen? If something like that is in the game. Maybe that is goddamn shite. Or that everyone is just stupid and no one ever came out with a good build. Probably this. Honestly, it's probably the thing with no one ever actually thought about it. Yeah, player base is actually stupid. Probably. Like, I mean, seriously, Chad. Bunch of idiots. Can't even think about a good build, huh? Laughable. Whee!
I need more time.
It's just funny how I'm not getting to use Blight at all. So the only time I'm using Blight is really versus... I mean, right now I'm truly just using Bloodwave and Bloodwave and Blood Mist. Occasionally when I like pre-curse and shoot things, then I'm using that. But actually versus every single opponent, I just use my wave, right? And then I quickly walk back here. Consume some corpses. Everything has died already. There's Bloodwave again. And Bloodwave available again. And even like just consume some corpses to activate it faster. There's another Bloodwave. So we don't even get to use Blight. And that's where I'm thinking about, like, double curse would be really cool. But the problem with double curse is we don't have the aspect for that. So you technically drop Black River, right? To say double curse is a thing. But then again, do we really want to do that? We want to drop Black River? Like, there's so many corpses out there, it's just shameful if we would do that. 20 runs, then you get Endariel's Visage, but that's amazing. Congratulations. I mean, Endariel's Visage can be fun. When I haven't had yet the chance, sadly, to try it out and how well the lifesteal works. But I was always imagining that there should be a build that works really well with temerity, because temerity in general isn't that good. But if you could use temerity in a build that would essentially have an item that gives you a constant lifesteal, I just like the idea of that. I mean, maybe it's just flipping around and actually it's not an existing idea, right? Like maybe there's no temerity build and it's just a fantasy. But what if there is? Temerity with Iron Maiden, yeah, but again, temerity with Iron Maiden would only give you barrier when something dies, and in the moment where you're waiting for something to die, it's completely useless. And then you would also only get temerity when you actually have blood orbs up, so while you're not having blood orbs up, this would also be completely useless. So it's always like temerity comes back to so many times where it's just not useful. Right? It's just like the thought of temerity is nice, but unless you do have truly like a constant way to replenish your life force in any way. Look, Chad, how everyone is just being bullied. Oh, they forced me to go in. I'm not happy. And poop wave. What do you think, Chan? Build looks fun. Concept works. I mean, concept is solid. I wish we could make it a little bit better versus bosses that I just like. I mean, we're killing Duriel with this. There's no question. Gregoire, Varshan, all these nerds, they're just dying to this. So there's like no hardship there. As always, tier 100 bosses that move are just annoying because they're obviously not standing in your pools of shadow. What chest are you using? With all these orbs, the artisans could be nice. No, it couldn't. No, it couldn't. The blood artisans could not be nice. And let me tell you why. We have no crit. This is my critical strike damage. So if I would now play the Blood Artisan's Cuirass to make ghosts, that wouldn't do any damage. Right? So that's an issue. Yeah, we fought a boss and that boss dared to move. And I was like, shocketh. Guys, when I tell you that I was shocketh, speechless, bamboozled, when he was not standing still on one spot, just letting me pummel him. How dare though? Did not like to see that. You produce some spirits, yeah, but what do the spirits do if they don't do damage? Again, spirits are nice, but they don't do damage. So yes, you're not wrong. One blood wave makes 9 blood orbs, and that with a good blood arty's cuirass, and I do actually have a good blood arty, would then allow me to produce like at least 1 spirit, maybe a second one. Then we make more. It's kind of nice. The thing is, like, what for? So like, let's go with a thought. Let's assume I would play the Blood Artisan's Cuirass. Okay, let's assume for a second we're going into a vault and we're assuming that we would make spirits now. The thing is, as soon as I blood wave, everything is dead. I've tried this build against Uber Malphus. It's just gonna poop on him. As the fun part is that you can essentially stand also behind his pillars where he traps out and just kill everything. I like kill the pillars at the same time. So again here, like let's assume we would make now a spirit when we pick up blood orbs, but nothing is alive. So So what would I need a Blood Orb Spirit for if everything is actually dead by the time that, well, I would need that Blood Orb Spirit. Right? Because that's the thing. When we're killing everything, what for? I mean, here in this case now, even in this case, again, like we get everything killed, right? It's kind of like, for temerity, would Endarials be a decent heal? See, this is what I think could work. Endarials and temerity together, but I don't have Endarials, so I can't test that. Nor am I interested in spending my time farming Endarials. Okay, as always, I am really not in any capacity interested in spending my time doing Uber Duriel until I have those. But if I now could change my Uber Uniques 1 for 1, right? If I could disenchant one Uber Unique to make another one, that would be cool. Because then I could actually test out if that works. Are we gonna try to kill the Son of Malphus? Hell no. Do you know how much he just jumps out of my pools? Son of Malphus is like the ultimate I don't want to stand in your shadow pools boss, right? When I'm like sitting here and I'm doing all this cool like shadow damage over time, and he's just like, yeah, bruv, you know, I'll just jump up in the air and then I'm coming back like I don't care, and then I'll just land on your shit, and then it'll be just plenty annoying. No, Son of Malphus essentially. Oops. And when we do like reasonable damage to him, right? He just gets damage over time, but again, you just gotta wait for that. And I really don't want to. Last thing we have to try now is dropping the blood-soaked aspect to play automatic corpse explosion and not play blood-soaked. I think it would make sense to do that. I would miss the movement speed that I get from Blood Mist. So right now you notice when I use Blood Mist, right, how quick I am, right? That's because of the blood-soaked aspect. But the problem again with the blood-soaked aspect is that the blood-soaked aspect doesn't allow us to run my automatic corpse explosions. And no automatic corpse explosion is awkward. If I'm not running automatic corpse explosions... This is a variant of Infinity Mist, but with Blood Mist, I mean, it is. It is, sir. I mean, there's only that many skills that a Necromancer can play. But it's more than simply just a variant of Infinity Mist, because this one is tacking also in Desecrated Ground, which you can also do with Infinity Mist if you want to. It's just a waste. Because the Desecrated Ground that your Blood-Soaked aspect does is not really worth it. You know? So like the I mean, you could probably just activate the multiplier without activating the whole glyph. It's at least 15% damage plus. I guess it's not that useless if you think about it. But yeah, I just like Bloodwave as a skill, and I like making a build that uses Bloodwave, because Bloodwave is such a fun skill, especially when you pair it now with a cooldown reduction here of the Blood Orbs. Like this is truly where the fun in this build comes from. Like imagine having this Bloodwave, right? And you with your cool skills, you can essentially just reduce the cooldown. I mean, look at that. That's it. When I have in every single engagement, I have the Bloodwave. It's not like that I have it sometimes, that I have it maybe, you know, that if I hit enough lucky hits, I might have the cooldown reduction. Nah. I just simply have it in every engagement. And it's so much fun because it's truly a nasty skill. Now, could you play this whole build also with Bone Storm? Yes, sure, you could play this whole build with Bone Storm. Where's the fun in that? Had to leave my post. I didn't like that. I was forced to by these nerds. Because they keep exploding. Blood mist. Now, if Corpse Explosion, Shadow Corpse Explosion would only have the higher radius. Because, Chad, one thing that still happens is that your Corpse Explosion, since Eternal Season, okay? Since Eternal Season, your Corpse Explosion is not getting a higher radius. Your Shadow Corpse Explosion. So look at this. This is like a lot of corpses, right? And this is my Corpse Explosion. Now, the radius should be bigger with Black River, right? But if I do the Corpse Explosion here as well, with a different weapon, it's the same radius. So Black River is actually not hiring the radius of Corpse Explosion, which is a real bummer. What's the most fun build with Necro at the moment? I think the Corpse Explosion Necros are really fun currently. But if I would have to choose, I'm still going back to my summoner thing, you know? Grim Harvest plus Black River makes a lot of essence, yeah, but most builds don't need that essence. Yeah, the other Corpse Explosion build gets the bigger explosion. Yes, the normal physical Corpse Explosion gets the bigger area. Yes, indeed, it does. As it should. Rings and Blood Surge. Critical Strike, Lucky Hit, and Sever. Wow. This could have been so good if it didn't have Sever. I mean, this would have been perfect if it didn't have Sever. It would, it would have been crazy if it didn't have Sever. But it did have Sever, so it's not. Oh, amazing. Lucky hit chance, max life. Yeah, just notice lucky hit chance, max life, and critical strike. Actually, could potentially use this one in the long run. This one in the long run. How fun and effective was the minion build? Well, the minion build was the most fun, and it also cleared a tier 100 dungeon, but it's still a struggle to get to that point. It's not easy in any way to get there. Like you're gonna be fighting, you know? You're gonna be struggling. You're gonna be having a hard time. Seems like the physical Corpse Explosion build is a lot of fun. The reason the physical Corpse Explosion build is so much fun is because it simply just has millions of Corpse Explosion damage straight out of the house. I mean, this one also has a very high amount of Corpse Explosion damage, but in order to reach that high amount of Corpse Explosion damage, you need to wait, right? When it's damage over time, and damage over time is a stinker in itself because, well, yeah, it's damage over time. Willow, Black River affects the radius of the initial explosion, but does not affect the dot pool. So again, useless Willow, right? And when we need it to make the shadow explosion bigger, which also makes no sense why it doesn't do it. So there's a coding issue, and that's a fact. Therefore, lacking. Minion build is super challenging. Definitely more challenging to play than the others. So you definitely need more brain power for that. Just put together a Corpse Explosion Bone Spear build. Yes, Corpse Explosion Bone Spear is going to be the pinnacle. That's going to be the final build I make this season, essentially. Well, not the final build, but kind of like that. That's the build I look forward to making the most. Where we're really just going to go for... Guran Canals has a boss. And the boss in the Guran Canals is a Malice, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Let me for 1 second, just out of interest, if we are dropping the blind. And just get the Reeb. The blind. Reeb has also like a very nice range, which is kind of cool. No, this is Guran Canals. I don't think Guran Canals has a boss. I was wrong. It's Canals. You can run around with Reeb and you can just Reeb and then make an instant corpse and pull things together. Can you damage over time the tier 100 butcher? Sure you can. Sure you can. I know some builds struggle with this, but nope. And this is usually like for some reason this is the YouTube strength test, by the way, Chad. Do you ever ask yourself like how weird some YouTube commenters can be? Not you, Chad, just some. Like it's like, can you kill the tier 100 butcher? Yeah. You can. Look convincing to you? Reap doesn't feel fluid. It does, actually. So Reap is your initiator. So what do you do with Reap? Okay. So since we're not using Blight anyways, Reap has two things. Reap makes a corpse, gives us attack speed, but Reap also gives us damage reduction whenever we use it. So we can essentially like walk up to a pair of mobs. We can Reap and we always get a corpse, instantly go for corpse tendrils, and then have things already pulled together, which is kind of nice. But the initial corpse we're making is also liable to get like corpse exploded. So that's kind of like you can do so many things with that. Again, Reap, pull things together. And versus a boss, you can essentially stay in front of the boss and then just keep reaping him. So you can just stay like this in front of a boss and keep reaping him to consistently get the damage reduction, and then to consistently also make corpses. And you just always have like corpses available. It's plenty useful. Like very underestimated how good it is. It's the easiest build to run, Bone Spear. I mean, Bone Spear is essentially just Bone Spear. So why don't you just Bone Spear? See, like, so like how much damage over time this is doing? By the way, guys, I'm not going to say it, but there was a Butcher in this dungeon, and there's also a Goblin in this dungeon. Butcher Goblin theory. I'm not going to say it, but I said it. Butcher Goblin theory. The fun part about the Reap is just really a guaranteed corpse, right? And if you use the guaranteed corpse from the Reap in the smart way, you truly have like some ultimate uptime with this, right? It's quite nice. Should certainly not be underestimated. The thing is, like, I really don't have the time to stand still and throw in blights. Right? And that's where we're just doing reaps here. Because we don't really have time to throw in blights, and then we have time to reap though. Also, Reap has a decent lucky hit chance, since also Reap hits everything. Like everything in your way, right? To then Reap also make more corpses anyways. Will you try Lost Epoch 1.0? I will most likely dabble with it. I mean, end of the day, I am a content creator that makes content. Surprise, right? Who would have guessed I make content? Therefore, I'll probably just give it a go, give it a twirl, check if I like it. Try out the Necromancer. Was this build going to be up on Mobalytics? I'm not sure if we get a video tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, because I want to make the Necromancer tier list too. Okay? Yeah, the Butcher Goblin theory is a fact, right, Katie? There's no question. Yeah, last Epoch Necro looks sick. I am not interested very much in Last Epoch itself. Okay? So it's not like that I'm, oh god, I can't wait for Last Epoch. Like, it's the coolest game I've ever, like, wow, I'm, like, it's the game of my dreams. I could not imagine playing anything better. It's not me in Last Epoch, right? Still, though, I'm a content creator. I make content. You have questions. I mean, you want to know how much fun Last Epoch is, right? I mean, who in this chat is at least interested to see? And that's the thing, right? I can buy it. I can spend the money. I can check it out. I can show you. You can see if it's interesting or not, and then you can decide for yourself if you want to play it or not. But I can essentially save you money. I can save you effort. I can do this for you. You don't have to do it yourself. And then you can make your educated guess if you want to or don't want to play the game. And I mean, that's what I do as a content creator end of the day, right? I help you with your gaming decision making. I feel like against that elite as well, could just easily. I don't know if this one has a boss or not. So yeah, I'll see. I got one skill point left over currently due to the way I reskilled. I want to test Reap against a boss. That's like my thing why we're running Reap is also because I want to test it against a boss, and I can't find a dungeon with a boss in it. I would assume this one probably has a boss in it. Yeah, you're all just getting bullied by that. Sorry, boys. All these blood orbs. All these blood orbs. Hee 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 hee. I'm just having way too much fun making these blood orbs. That's for sure. International heavyweight cyberbully. Is there any reason to run nightmare dungeons and stuff, Vaults? Well, I'm trying to find a boss right now because chat keeps asking me, like, is this build good versus bosses? I'm like, is this build good versus bosses? So here I am, rocking like a hurricane, trying out this build versus bosses, so chat can see if this build is good versus bosses. Even though, like, so that's the thing. Like, the question is always, is this build for good versus bosses? And you're like, but you're not doing bosses. Like, no one is doing bosses. Why do you want to know this? Why is this important for you? Like, you're fighting uber bosses, right? But you're not fighting uber bosses alone, right? You're actually not fighting uber bosses alone. You're fighting uber bosses with others together, right? Surely. And even if you're doing uber bosses alone, uber bosses are a joke. Like, my granny beats an uber boss, right? And my granny is like pretty weak. Oh, this is to slay all enemies, and then there's nothing in this dungeon, right? Sadness. Surely, chat. Surely. Super overkill. Like literally the biggest overkill in existence using that. I would use the Ring of Sacrilegious Souls. But also the automatic corpse explosion. Is that overkill? What do you think, Chan? No, never overkill, but it actually is. Yes. I can't kill Lilith. I'm 40, can't evade the spike. I mean, Percelto, Lilith is neither a gear check. Lilith is not a, Lilith is literally a skill check. But not even that, because if you are a certain class, like me, Necromancer, you're at a disadvantage against Lilith. I mean, I did Lilith on my mage. Okay, Chad? Like, let me spill here some beans. I did Lilith on my mage, and it was stupid. You know why? Because you have a teleport. So whenever Lilith does something that would one-hit kill you, you just teleport somewhere where you don't get one-hit killed. Whereas when I play my Necromancer, I can Blood Mist, and then if my Blood Mist is on cooldown, I die. So, yeah. Yay. Yay.
Greetings. How shall I guide you? My hammer sings on your return.
Okay, we still haven't found a single dungeon that still haven't found like a good normal tier 100 dungeon. Shifter Ruins didn't have a boss. Something in my back of my mind is like Shifter Ruins does not have a boss. I don't even know for certain. I guess I would kind of like to farm the steel just to kill Gregoire quick. Yeah, I think let's just get the steel quickly. Kill Gregoire. Yesterday, I had a level 95 barb in my group doing Melphis. He couldn't finish his room. He was dying from level 100 mobs. I couldn't believe it. I think game is actually hard. Mantis, I don't think the game is hard. I think people are lacking knowledge. That's the biggest point. I mean, just today. So today we made a video about the Necromancer and how I beat a tier 100 dungeon with only Codex of Power aspects. Okay, Chad? Only Codex of Power aspects. Nothing else. Just that. And we beat a tier 100 dungeon, which is kind of crazy, though. And someone in the comments said... Hi, YouTube, by the way. Someone in the comments said, I didn't know that you can turn rare items into legendaries. I do believe there's a lot of people who just have, like... They're lacking certain parts of knowledge. I mean, especially when it comes down to Paragon board building. But that's kind of like Blizzard's fault for not having that knowledge in the game. I mean, most people don't know the armor cap. Most people don't know that 13.5k is the armor cap and keep wondering why they die in tier 100 dungeons. They're like, I don't understand. I have 9,000 armor. Why do I keep dying in tier 100 dungeons? And you're like, sir, like, yeah. But then there are people that know that there's an armor cap and they're like, I don't know. I'm at the armor cap. I'm still dying in tier 100 dungeons. But then they don't know about damage reduction values, right? So merely the armor cap is not enough. Then you also need all the damage reduction items to really like get to a point where it makes sense. And I think it's just like a bunch of missing knowledge in general. That's leading to this. That's partially the only way how I can explain certain things. Resistance does become an issue. No, I think most people understand that you have to have resistance as maxed. I think people understand rather resistance maxed over armor because there's an indicator in the game. Right, John? So when you have your resistance maxed out, it's green. Great. So that actually makes sense. I mean, imagine having something in the game that actually shows you when your resistance is maxed. That's a great accessibility feature. Now again, one of my greatest gripes is that there's no information about the armor cap in the game. It simply is not in the game. There's zero information. There's zero. There's not. It's not like hidden somewhere. There's simply the information does not exist. No tooltip. Nothing. It doesn't exist. It's a little bit sad. Oh, and then there's skill issue. I mean, some people also just suck, right? And that's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, there is end of the day a skill issue that you might just literally suck. Happens to the best of us. We can't be good at everything, Chan. I need to go here to Reeb. I'm just killing them all with Reeb. Sometimes I wish we could play the Blight Pull together. I mean, we can actually also play the Blight Pull together in this build, which might be interesting. Consider. By the way, we should have recorded that tier 100 butcher, guys. We probably recorded that. We can shut up the haters. I missed my blood wave. tiny issue, Chan. I missed my blood wave. Anyone else hates this area here with a passion? That is kind of like the worst area to farm cinders in. I've not progressed through a worse area. Should dash to reduce the cooldown of blood wave? I should, but it's also the overworld, man. Like we're just like, you know, not really speed farming with this build through the overworld. There's definitely better Necro builds for overworld zooming. When again, this is damage over time, so you have to hit enemies and then they'll damage over time die. So that's probably the only thing I dislike when I'm using Reeb, that we don't have an essence spender. Best areas in the top right, just do circles. Yep. I'll be keeping that in mind. Blood wave too short. I'm just not a fan. I'm very not a fan. Put spirit instead of blight for the lols. No. Again, we're not scaling critical strike. We're scaling shadow damage over time, Chan. Does anything in shadow damage over time yell bone spirit to you? Does anything in shadow damage over time yell bone spirit to you? It would be funny if you could turn bone spirit into a shadow skill. And here I generally feel like every single Necro skill should be able to get turned into the other elements somehow. Because as a Necro, you have like corpse and shadow and blood and bone, right? So that's the 4 schools you have in Curse. But like some skills like corpse explosion can be turned into physical or are physical and then into also shadow. Why can I not turn the bone spirit into a blood spirit or something? And also why can I not turn the bone spirit into a shadow spirit somehow? I felt like, again, failed concept, failed aspects, failed everything, because it would be so cool if that was possible. Is armor capped at 85% reduced physical damage, so it makes no difference if I have 8,500 or more than 15,000. That's wrong. See, like this is where we're talking about a lack of knowledge. So if you read this here, it says the total armor granted by all your equipped items reduces physical damage taken from enemies of equal level. Okay, so a level here, 85%. A level 100 opponent will have 85% damage reduction. A level 101 opponent will not have 85% damage reduction if you're not over the armor cap. And that's why the armor cap for tier 100 dungeon is 13.5k. Because at 13.5k, you're at the armor relative to your enemy level of 154. And that's what you're looking for. Yeah, that's how it works. And that's why we dedicated a whole video to this. And despite dedicating a whole video to this, like people still don't know. That means you're just not watching enough Ponyhop entertainment, and that's a shame. I'm not mad. I'm just frankly spoken disappointed, and I would like to see your Prime Gaming sub right now. Thank you very much. You play Druid or another class? I mean, we have Sork level streams, my friend. But nor do I don't enjoy Druid, nor do I enjoy many other classes than Necro. Also, we still have Necro builds to make. I mean, the only reason I would now do Druid or any other class is for clicks. I wouldn't really do it out of conviction. But yeah, I'm just a Druid gamer. I'm just a Necro gamer. Making new Necro builds, then getting the question from people, Pony, I already swapped my Necro build 4 times to all the new Necro builds and I can't keep up with all the new Necro builds you're releasing. Why are you doing this to me? And I'm like, bro, you don't have to swap your builds every single time. You should choose what you enjoy playing, you know? And then stick with that. The other stuff is just options. They're like, nah, that can't do, bruv. Blizzard should take notes. I mean, Blizzard should at least try. All my ideas are nothing revolutionary. That's the thing. I'm not having any crazy. Oh God, I'm 30 seconds out for this. I'm not having any revolutionary crazy ideas. This is just like the basic bread and butter of a necromancer, right? I mean, like how about like a core skill for corpses? I know, crazy, right, John? Have you ever thought about how nice it would be if we had a core skill for corpse skills? I am so happy that we opened this one up and it actually worked out in time, because I would have been absolutely unamused if we got interrupted by that fire lady there. And with absolutely unamused, I mean like literally like foaming out of my mouth unamused. Okay, so now that we have Grigwa Zilgavanik Saint, we can go kill Grig. Oh, come on now, lady. Get shit on. Figuratively and literally. Poopmancer. Hey, Melvok, good to see you there.
I cannot do that here.
There's like the option for Necro builds. Yes, Necro has just so many options. Desecration Wave is amazing. The 640% is awesome. It is. Even though I have still the dire feeling that the Desecration Wave is not doing the damage it should do. And with all the multipliers we're putting down. Like, right, if I just do the Desecration Wave here, and you look at the damage, it's like... It's not the damage I would expect it to do. We'll have to do this against the dummies in a second. Because technically, the Desecration Wave does 50k base, right? 52k base. And then with all the multipliers we're having, and we're having a significant amount of multipliers, it should be so much more, but it's hard to, like, check that damage because I'm doing so much damage over time. Right? Like, when I stack up my damage, how I'm going to know which one is the Desecrated Wave and which one is not the Desecrated Wave? Speed, momentum, violence. Okay, this is the first time using Reap in a boss fight, chat. Let's see how that feels. I mean, not that he's going to survive long. Ow, ow, ow. Poop. Pooped on. Pooped on. Pooped on. Okay, now I have one, or like now I have enough shards of agony to do one Durio. We get a Necro appreciation season. We just literally need a little bit of fixes. But chat, listen, ladies and gentlemen, good news. Ladies and gentlemen, good news. Like, I don't know if you've seen this. I am your source of information, please. There has been a tweet from Mr. Paz Radar. Paz Radar. So what do we have? Blah, 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 blah. There's a booty. Next week, we will be announcing a date and time for a campfire chat that will be fully focused on showcasing the gauntlet and our mid-season updates. The mid-season update will bring lots of class updates and will be the same update as the gauntlet. So we're getting class updates, we're getting the gauntlet, we're getting a campfire chat, but we will have to wait for mid-season. Mid-season is in 2 weeks. Mid-season is roughly in 2-3 weeks, so we have to wait a bit. That means we get updates and the gauntlet, and we should get vampiric powers, because this is something to keep in mind, Chan. We're also supposedly getting vampiric powers. Does anyone have a strong minion build? There's 2 strong minion builds on the channel that you can check out, sir. Does anyone have a strong minion build? Yes, I have a strong minion build.
Not while I'm in town.
Desecration Wave was doing more in Season 2. Well, the reason why Desecration Wave was doing more in Season 2 is because you get a 60% multiplier on your shadow damage over time.
Is someone there?
Getting what? Vampiric power. I mean, vampiric powers used to be the Season 2 mechanic, and they promised us that in the mid-season update, we're always going to get like some cool things. So that's the cool things that we're waiting for. What's, in your opinion, the most fun Necro build? Minions? I mean, seriously? They're just fun to play. Gauntlet will be fun, yeah, but it's still a wee bit out. So my game plan right now is following. We will be playing Banisher. We'll finish the Banisher. We have like 1 or 2 more things to try out in Diablo. On the 20th, Nightingale gets released. So we're going to be playing Nightingale then and give that a go as well, because Nightingale looks quite interesting. Survival game. Then we're going to be... Moved on. Ow. First. Then we're also going to be playing Last Epoch on release, because, well, that's just a simple why not. See, now I'm just standing here and like look how do you see again how his HP gets healed, Chad? I want you to pay close attention how he just regains HP and how it just doesn't make sense. Because he doesn't have a reason to regain HP, but he does. It's an unacknowledged problematic. He just ran out of my poop wave. That's fantastic. Thank you, Durio. We do greatly appreciate it. Oh, did you just really go into the underground as I was just... You did. You did. You absolute doofus copter. That's just showing that the Reap is exactly doing what we wanted it to do. That has me happy. And pooped on. It would be nerfs. Well, they promised to never nerf things mid-season, Chad. They might be fixing broken stuff, but nerfs Like they literally promised never nerfs mid-season. Who knows? No Uber Unique. I'm so mad. I'm so mad. Beyond enraged. Dom, that was Mr. Kadir. Kadir's on a huge sub-gifting spree. Have you thought about playing Grand Blue Fantasy Relink? Not my kind of game. Not a bad game, but not my kind of game personally. I've seen things about it. I mean, my friends at Fixed Your Life, they're covering that one vigorously. But yeah, not my cup of tea, to be honest. I wish Blight was desecrated. Then Desecrated Ground would be too good. I mean, seriously, broken too good. How much is Nightingale going to be? I have not paid attention to the potential price of the game. And I'll just hit it, you know? Actually, no clue about the size and the price point you're going to have. Broken too good. Barbs exist. Yeah, but Barbs exist. Barb are fantastic. I hope they don't nerf Necrothorn minions. I mean, like, if they would explicitly nerf Necrothorn's minions, you would really have to ask yourself if someone hates minions at Blizzard. That would have to be your question. Like, does someone at Blizzard genuinely hate minions? Because that's the only way how I could explain how like, you know, how someone would target Thorn's minions. Especially because, don't forget, guys, the general manager of Diablo used to play Thorn Necromancer. Because I literally don't know why. I just know he did. Which is still the greatest disappointment in history to me. It's kind of like, oh yeah, the general manager of Diablo is playing Necro. That's cool, that's cool. He'll probably notice all the things that are bad with Necro and help us fix the class. Oh, he's playing Thorn's Necro. Whew. How do I contain this amount of disappointment that I feel right now? How do I contain this? How do I vent my rage? Shake my fist at the sky. How do I not throw up inside of my mouth? Are they hate minions? No, I think they're just like whoever is responsible for Necro is just really bad at their job. I keep saying that because like yeah, that's at this point that's the only explanation that's left. I have tried to explain this situation in many ways to myself, and the only explanation I've left is the person in charge of Necro is just bad at their job. And yeah, that's it. End of the message. Not meant in a hateful, spiteful way. Just literally, that's the only explanation I've left. I've nothing else. I have nothing else left, chat. I'm sorry. Our opponent to fix Necro. I have no interest in fixing Necro. I just want competent developers. You know, I'm a gamer. I'm here to game and have fun. Oh, that's another butcher. I'm here to game and have fun. I'm not here to fix your mess. Hey, listen, uncool. I was just about to get my blood orbs here. So we could have a little mingle and tingle and jingle and babingle. You just throw that little hook at me, huh? I'll be having that, Mr. Butcher. No. We're not playing that game. Come on, mate. Oh, playing that game. Playing that game where I use my poop wave to poop on you. And then I run in circles and then you just die. Oh, nice. Look, Chan. Gloves. Is this a completed build? No, this is a theory craft. Well, it's a theory craft from last season that we just whooped out this very morning. So no, there's not a mobalytics yet because we essentially just whooped this out this morning. Ooh, I didn't have a time to mobalytics this up now. So far. You forced me to poop wave. I'm unhappy. Yes, it's the same when people like keep asking why don't more content creators make computer games? Honestly, because most content creators suck at making computer games. How many content creator games do you know that are actually successful or didn't fail? But also most important is like I don't want to make computer games. I want to play them. And then I want to complain about them. I mean, I do give feedback to Blizzard. Don't worry, Chan. I do send them emails. I do send them messages. I'm sadly not part of the Diablo content creator program. So they have a Diablo partner program. I am sadly not part of that because as far as I'm aware, you get invited to this. You do not ask to be invited. You get invited. And the problem with Blizzard is it's a very American centric corporation. So even back in my Hearthstone times when like there were a bunch of European streamers with 10,000s, 20,000s of viewers, myself included. And we were literally not acknowledged as existent by Blizzard. Whereas the American streamers, no matter what size, that we're all homies with the Blizzard people, you know? And you're kind of like, I exist. Hello. I know I'm European, but I exist. I'm sorry for being European. Please don't hate me, America. It was like Blizzard is so weird when it comes down to that as one gigantic multinational company that you would expect to be better. But no, not really. They're very America focused. I mean, surprise, American company being America focused. Would have guessed. But yeah, it's like there's some German companies like that too. For example, Ubisoft in Germany, guys. So Ubisoft in Germany, if you're German and doing English content, you're unable to get a promotion from Ubisoft, a game promotion. Because German streamers from Germany are only getting the German contacts. Okay, so I'm a streamer from Germany. I stream in English. I am yet still though only talking to the German contact. They don't allow me to talk to the English contact essentially because I am from Germany. No matter the language of my content, and therefore they're unable to work together with me because I am English speaking from Germany. And if they, yeah. And it's 2024, by the way, Chad. It's one, like Ubisoft is one of these companies where you're just like, this makes no sense, but you do you, pop off. Like, fantastic. I don't want to work with you anyways. They can be very, very weird and very exhausting. Sadly, a lot of companies in the US are very good old boys club. Diary, it's not really down to that. It's more like you have the community managers as Blizzard, and you have the people that work at Blizzard, and they're literally not awake when you stream, so you don't exist for them. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter how many viewers you have. If the community manager is never awake when you're awake, he's just not aware that your stream essentially exists, which you technically can't blame him anymore. Like, you can't blame him for that technically, but practically, like, you know, it's kind of also part of the job of the person to be aware of like the streamers in that space, you know. But yeah. It is what it is. Okay, that's all useless. Like, go away. The reason nobody uses Ubisoft, hey, Ubisoft has some good games, okay, right? We like Ubisoft games. As long as they don't cost $60 and are completely useless, like that pirate game. That's way too expensive. By the way, what do I do with my distilled fears, chat? What do I do with my 200 distilled fear? Do I sell this somewhere? Is anyone buying distilled fear? Do I start salvaging this? Would it be fun if I could decraft these materials for something else? What vampiric powers will be good for a Necro explosion build? It depends on what vampiric powers we're getting. I mean, again, last time we get the Ring of Sacrilegious Souls, right, guys? So now the assumption would be that we get a similar unique with the mid-season update that has a vampiric power on it. I do personally hope that we get boots with something. Who knows? Like literally, who knows what Blizzard is thinking? But yeah, it would be cool to get like some boots with something on it. That would be kind of nice. We'll see about that. I would hope for vampiric gems, to be honest. Like let every class get like 2 vampiric gems that you could put in your rings. I would really love this. I mean, the general idea of like the Barbara Heart and everything, so the hearts, was not a bad idea. The problem was that the execution was just lacking, you know, right? I mean, like with the different socket colors and like you're not able to change socket colors and all that kind of stuff. So the actual execution of the hearts was lacking. Not the idea behind the hearts. So that was a cool one. I mean, I really loved the hearts in itself to finally have something to put in the sockets. Because right now it's like, oh yeah, either you put resistance in your sockets, and if you're not putting resistance in your sockets, then you're going to be putting then you're going to be putting armor in the sockets, and that's about it. So the sockets are like completely useless, right? And so they're not being used for anything. And therefore, I would kind of like something in that direction. I mean, for example, for Necromancer, the Metamorphosis vampiric power would be needed. Why Metamorphosis? Because we can't become unstoppable. I mean, Necro has the chance to become unstoppable, and there's only one build that can do this regularly, and that is Infinimist, because Infinimist has the cooldown on Blood Mist to really make this work. But every other Necromancer build cannot become regularly unstoppable enough to make this worth it. Right? So yeah, it would be really cool if gems. I mean, imagine vampiric gems. Every class gets, or they're gonna release 10 vampiric gems, like class agnostic. We don't need class specific ones, correct, chat? Do you need class specific ones? Nah, just release like 10 gems. I mean, like that we can then put on. That would be super cool, and they're gonna drop at Lord Seer. They're probably gonna drop at Lord Seer. By the way, chat, save Lord Seer materials, because there's a very, very likely assumption that if something vampiric power wise is coming, it's most likely coming from Lord Seer. I mean, from who else is it going to come? He was the vampiric boss. He was the guy. Varshan was dropping the Ring of Sacrilegious Souls. So the assumption is quite solid and safe to say, right? That Lord Seer is going to be the man of the hour. God, I love this build, Chad. This has been my favorite build in Season 2, even though I didn't play it that much, but it's just like straight up my favorite build. The poopmancer. They need to make it better to get blood. Yes, they do. No, it won't happen. You hope Metamorphosis doesn't come out. It was too good. Yeah, it's not a bad argument. I'm with you on that one. But gotta also accept that that's kind of like it was kind of mandatory for Necro, especially like so. T-Bolt's Will gets released, and T-Bolt's Will essentially only works with the meta vampiric power, right? This is a Butcher Malphus dungeon, guys. In this dungeon, we already killed the Butcher, and now we also do have the Son of Malphus. Does anyone notice how easy the Butcher died and how not easy the Son of Malphus is dying? It's just so obvious to me how hardcore they overtuned this guy for a barbarian. I mean, the butcher died like so easy, and this dude just, yeah. I mean, he's taking damage. Don't get me wrong, right? And he will die, but I just literally can't be asked. Like I'm already bored by it, so I'm just moving away. Yeah, the butcher even gets barrier. The butcher even has lifesteal sometimes. Like he has the stun happening and all that kind of stuff. He has his shout that slows you. Like he literally has everything. And yet the Son of Malphus is so heavily overtuned. At least for me as a Necro, right? I mean, even as a Bone Spear build, by the way, if you're wondering, yes, even as a Bone Spear build, I can't be asked. Because it's just a time waste. I mean, dude doesn't even drop anything. Oh, that was such a smooth end room. You one-shot him with a barb? Yep. I feel you. So since barb anyways one-shoots him, like, why don't you just nerf the HP on that guy? Because barb anyways one-shoots him. So like, who cares? Right? Barb anyways destroys him. Add new main slot gem and 3 buff slots with Empiric powers for constructs. I don't think we're getting anything new. Like, I don't think we can expect from Blizzard much new stuff, right? Like, I wouldn't even mind if they just gave us Vampiric powers back. Just like instead of 5 slots, is only 3 slots. I wouldn't mind if Vampiric powers became something permanent. Because I do feel personally like Vampiric powers fit so well into the game. Not just as a general thing, like as a seasonal thing. They were just good. They allowed me to have more fun with different builds. And that's what I'm looking for in a mechanic, right? I'm looking for overall more fun. They also allowed me to make more builds viable. Correct? So I was kind of like, yeah, Vampiric powers just brought joy, like, for me to allow me to play more things. Diablo 4, your first Diablo game? No, I played every single Diablo game. Every single. We even have videos of me revisiting all the Diablo games. So in case you missed this, chat, we have revisited all the Diablo games. Here is me playing. This is Diablo season 30. Season 30. This is Diablo Immortal. This is Diablo 3. This is Diablo 2, and this is Diablo 1. So I've revisited all the Diablos, okay? And I've played and Path of Exile as a noob, and Path of Exile as a noob. So I've been playing like quite some Path of Exile. You know, it was interesting. But I personally don't like Path of Exile that much. It's not a terrible game, but at the same time, it's also nothing that makes my PP go hard, you know? Personally. So, does the Rhymescar Cavern have a boss? Vampire rings coming from zero. Yeah, but don't make it rings again. Rings, like, so if they make vampire rings, I'm going to punch them in the throat. Seriously. Because we just got malignant rings, correct? I mean, imagine them now like, hey, so mid-season update. Listen, chat. Like, we got something new and innovative for you. Yeah, guess what? It's vampiric rings. Vampiric rings. Vampiric rings. And you're just like, oh, okay, Blizzard, but how about you take these vampiric rings and stuff them in your butt? Yeah, crazy, right? Also, if they do vampiric rings, I might as well just start crying at that point. Yeah, like we're like every new season mechanic is now from now on gonna be rings. Yeah, because we have so many ring slots. I'm still secretly hoping for earrings, chat, or a belt, but I think that's far down the line. I 100% think we're getting a belt and shoulders. Like call me crazy, but we are definitely gonna get shoulders at some point. We are definitely gonna get a belt at some point. Technically, there's space here, right? There's space here, guys, for more of these skills. But that is further down the season. I mean, the only reason we don't have this right now is because this is planned for new seasonal content. Where it's like, this is the season of the belt, right? Here, this is shoulders and this is the belt. And this is the season of the belt. And it's going to be like, you finally can wear belts in Diablo 4. And we're like, what? Belts in Diablo 4? What? And yes, I'm gonna be freaking out. No matter if it was in the other games, I don't care. I'm gonna be happy about having it in Diablo 4. Like, no way, belts. Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, they can move the amulet up and put the shoulders below. Exactly. It's not like we don't have the space for all of this. It's like it's right there. It's staring into our soul. But yeah, so they could bring Blood Harvest back as a permanent installation, and they could give us a second menu for vampiric powers, but we only get 3 vampiric powers instead of 5. I would be fine with 3 instead of 5, but again, I would also be happy if they just brought back vampiric powers as a net total whole, because I just really do like vampiric powers, right? Why am I dashing through him the whole time, guys? Because if I'm not dashing through him, I am not reducing the cooldown of my blood wave. I mean, literally, like, every dash reduces the cooldown, and as you see, I can essentially just permanent blood wave him. That's just like with these bosses when you're pooping on them. Boots with Metamorphosis would be cool. Yeah, boots would make sense, for example, with Metamorphosis, but it would be just like, I really don't remember the other vampiric powers right now. The other movement vampiric powers. So yeah. But boots would be cool with meta. But we get, how many rings did we get? We get 1 ring. So let's think back about Season 2 mid-season update. What was there? It was... every class got 1 ring, right? It wasn't more. I'm like, every class got 1 ring. So it's safe to say that either every class gets 1 vampiric power, or that there's 6 vampiric powers, 5 vampiric powers potentially coming, correct? Boots are needed too much for the affixes and stuff. I mean, for Necro, boots are the most interchangeable spot. But what about ring Scrumjack? It's not like that. Rings are also not crazy needed. Yeah, rings are crazy needed. Aspect would be more flexible. Always aspect would be more flexible. What is going to be a utility aspect? A unique aspect would be funny. But then again, is the unique aspect always going to roll max rolled, or am I going to have to try to find a unique aspect? And here comes the problem. Okay, chat, like, imagine Chat, imagine, it's a unique aspect. That means you need to have the perfect equipment piece to enchant it onto, because if you don't have the perfect equipment piece and then you find a better equipment piece, then you need to find the unique aspect again to enchant the unique aspect. And then if you find a higher rolled unique aspect, you're going to over enchant the existing unique aspect. And if you actually find a better piece of gear, but you don't have the unique aspect, then you can't actually use the new unique aspect, and that would be shit. Correct? That, or they could have the enchanter put vampiric power as affix if you have special mats. Ooh, that would be cool. But you would have to farm the special materials, and then you can go into your codex and you can enchant a vampiric power. I wouldn't mind a vampiric power as a second enchantment. Like, right? So you're like, how do I put this now? Let's say your ring or your amulet could have a second enchantment, and that can only be a vampiric power. So you have your aspect imprinted, and then you have your vampiric enchantment. Like there is ways to do this without making it weird, I feel. Horse aspects and horse combat. Okay, you back in the box, Cruisin'. Back in the box. That's 50 gifted for going too far. What's the point of Eternal Realm? There are some people, we call them the Diablo 4 purists, or weird, so one of the two things, that only play Eternal Realm. The reason why people only play Eternal Realm is because they're scared of losing all their progress. So someone is going to tell you that he put XXX100 hours into the season, into his character, and he doesn't want to lose the progress. And that's why he keeps playing. Like, what did I farm this character up for just to lose it all? Why are monsters not dying easy in this dungeon, guys? Because 40% shadow resist. Does it matter? No, because it's not 60% shadow damage over time resist. These are two different things. So yeah, like Eternal Realm obviously is like, I don't know. It's for people just to see, like, I guess their past achievements. It's like when you're getting old and you just want to look back. Crimson, thank you for the 5 gifted. That's very appreciated. But it wasn't necessary. It was necessary. Thank you very much. But like, end of the day, I mean, the Eternal Realm, like, you can always go back to your cool characters and see what cool equipment they have. I mean, like, imagine all these people that farmed all the Uber uniques in the past seasons. Like, they need to go somewhere, chat. Come on. You need to feel with these people. Imagine you did 4,000 Duriels in season 2. Like, you want to at least log in to show your wife your Uber uniques and be like, honey, look, I got a grandfather. And she's like, what, a grandfather? I can't believe it. And then you're like, yeah, don't worry. I also got the Doombringer. And it's like, what? Marry me. Is this how you're spending all your time instead of, like, going on a date with me, you little shit? Yeah. I mean, like, you need to be able to flex your equipment that you spend thousands of hours for, right? And the Eternal Realm essentially just exists to exist. That's it. But that's it. I mean, you see it as a fashion show, right? You can log in, you can look at your past characters, you can be like, oh, look, how cool. But end of the day, it doesn't also hurt that the Eternal Realm exists. I mean, the Eternal Realm existing doesn't do anything to you, right? It's like, it doesn't attack you in your sleep, right? you're not sitting in your chair and suddenly the Eternal Realm tries to, like, strangle you or something like that. Nah, it just exists and that's it. And you're like, yeah, congratulations for existing. Like, we're so proud of you, Eternal Realm. It takes up character slots, but delete them. I had to delete so many 100s already. mean, no one is forcing you to keep your Eternal Realm characters. That's on you. Speak for you. Eternal's constantly haunting me. Yep. The haunting of the Eternal Realm. Eternal Realm is the retirement home. Yes. I do know quite some people who only play Eternal Realm. And you know what? It's a decision you make, and it's an okay decision. Like, for me, like, it eludes any sense. Not everyone likes change, guys. Like, you have to keep this in mind, right? Not everyone likes change. There's people who actually despise change, so they want the same game and they want to play it for 10 years. I mean, again, there's people that still play Diablo 2 and the base game, not the seasonal content. Okay, guys, there's still people that play Diablo 2, the base game, not the seasonal content, and they enjoy that, and that's okay, you know? It's like the epitome of Eternal Realm, I guess, right? And if you do that, more power to you. If you found something you enjoy this much, that's amazing. I would rather die, but that's just me, chat. Every creator has the builds with all the uniques. Yeah, but that's because creators just lost touch to reality. I mean, whenever I see a creator build that's using 2 to 3 uber uniques, and like, especially in a build showcase. So this is really disingenuous, and I dislike this. It's kind of like, oh, like, you know, I've seen so many Bone Spear builds where they're like, look, my Bone Spear is dealing 10 million damage and you can do it too. And then they show in the intro how like cool the Bone Spear build is, and then 10 million damage and and then they're like, okay, in order to get this, Shaco, Grandfather, Ring of Starless Skies, Melted Heart of Selig. And you're like, yeah, but if I don't have these items, will I still deal 10 million damage? No, you won't. You won't. Not even a fraction. You know, your build will be trash in comparison. But if you had all these items... Right? I prefer to make non-Uber builds and give Uber options. So whenever I make a build, it's kind of like, this is the build, and if you had an Uber, you could use it. I mean, for this build, for example, the helmet could be a Shaco, but you would have a problem if you do this. And the problem, if your helmet is a Shaco, that would disallow you from getting blood orbs from consuming corpses. So that's shit. Now, if your helmet is a Shaco, then I would have to have my pants be the Embomber. I would lose the armor on the pants. That vice versa means that I have to then change my chest to have the Disobedience, and then I have to change my boots to actually have the Corpse Explosion aspect. Which is then a complete different build, right? You see the problem with Uber Uniques, correct? It's not just like, oh, why don't we just put a Shaco in? No, it doesn't work. What build are we playing? We're currently playing the poopmancer, who's using Blood Wave to poop on opponents. And we're using the triple Blood Wave. What I wanted to check out is, guys, what if we return back to the single Blood Wave? Because I've been using the single Blood Wave for a while now. It's been working reasonably well too. Just for a run, because we played it also with like this, right? If I play like the single Blood Wave right now, and I wanted to change the I wanted to change triple Blood Wave, but with the Blood-Soaked Gauntlets. Okay, so this was important to me. I wanted to take the gauntlets, and now I need to have the wave aspect here, Blood Wave, and we're gonna put Blood-Soaked away on the gauntlets, which is dislike it. Okay, really dislike it. But it is like the only way how I can play this together. So that would be this. We don't need that. We don't need this. That is shit. The 40%. I haven't seen 40% in a while. You need to bring a way to break uniques for Uber uniques. Yes. I would agree for that. But again, I really don't care about Uber uniques. I don't need them. right? It's just sad that you have to farm them for the leaderboard. Pelly, thank you for your support. Pelly, thank you for your subscriptions. Thank you for the 1 and the 3 months on top. Do love to have you there. Congratulations on your new mount. Also, chat, if you did bring your Prime sub, don't forget to use it here on Twitch. Love to see that. So now we have triple blood wave. We have automatic corpse explosions, right? And with the automatic corpse explosions, I can truly just focus on doing this, because now whenever I reap, I'm already getting everything automated, right? So I don't have to worry about doing anything myself anymore. I just have to reap, and my corpse explosions are going to happen from alone. Same goes actually with my corpse tendies. I'm gonna make this funny. Yeah, it doesn't really feel much slower, does it, Chad? That was my fear, that I would just feel slower without the zooming blood mist. You're standing in front of the door, sirs and ma'ams. We can't have that. Without the zooming blood mist, it would just feel worse. It doesn't actually do that, right? Is it really worth getting glyphs to rank 21? Yes, it's free damage. I mean, you have to see glyphs as free damage. If you have your glyph activated, 40 out of 40 int, and then you level it up to 21, you're essentially getting more damage. You're just getting more damage. It's free. It's free bonus damage that you don't have to do anything for. And in case of some glyphs, the damage is insane. I mean, right now we're playing the desecration glyph, and the desecration glyph maximum upgraded gives us 600 plus 640 bonus damage. Okay, to desecrated ground, which is insane. Percent bonus damage. Okay, percent. Sorry, should have said percent. For our overpower damage, for example, I get plus 400%. For our corpse explosion damage, I get plus 200% if my glyph is max leveled. So is it worth it? Hell goddamn fucking yeah. Okay, this is so much smoother now with the automatic corpse explosion ring, and like I miss my speed, so that's for sure. I do miss the speed when you activate blood mist and you had like that bonus movement speed, but not to the point where I would say that without the speed this is horrible. It's more like that without the speed it's still good, right? I'm really a meanie. Surprisingly, it doesn't feel overkill playing the corpse explosion. And could you please let me pick this up? Thank you. Does blighted corpse explosion count as desecrated ground? No, it counts as blighted ground. The skill has to say desecrated ground, like Bloodwave actually says. And if it does not say desecrated ground, then it does not do desecrated ground. It literally has to say in the skill description, like here, it creates desecrated ground. So if it doesn't say that, then it is in fact not desecrated ground. So right now I can just go around here, like see me. I'm just walking around and I'm just, I'm just gonna do this, and my skills just automatically pull everything together. I can just go around and just burr, 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 burr. Oh, this is way too YOLO. Just walk around and just cleave him, you know, just reap him, and then spawn like blood. Then go for your blood wave, right? And then we just keep going around. Yep, I like this. This was a good change, guys. This is a good change. Like, just go around and do I mean, if you don't actually need the armor, so let's assume our chest has total armor, our pants have total armor, our helmet has total armor, right? And these are all max rolls on total armor, and we could even have on our neck total armor. If I had the total armor on every single thing max rolled, then I wouldn't actually need to play Disobedience, and you could play the damage reduction when using a basic skill. Yeah, I know, crazy, right? Oh, look, Chad. Another unique. Is there uber unique pans? No, it's a temerity. Wee! I had a moment. Save his Necromancer to on hardcore blood surge. Ten different shadow dots that don't really synergize. Yes, it makes no sense. So we have chat, listen. Just for you to understand. So we have Blight, right? Unleash concentrated blight that deals damage and leaves behind a defiled area. Blight leaves behind blight. Blight. Okay? Then Blighted Corpse Explosion is a darkness skills that releases Vile Miasma. It doesn't even say what it does. Okay? This is just Vile Miasma. It's nothing. Then you can turn Bone Prison into Blight. Correct? And nowhere Desecrated Ground is mentioned. Unless you're playing Sever, chat. So now if you're playing Sever, now comes the interesting part. So if we're playing Sever and you get the Greaves of the Empty Tomb, the Greaves of the Empty Tomb say create Desecrated Ground beneath your Sever Specters as they travel. So now we suddenly have that keyword, Desecrated Ground. Not okay, again, not Vile Miasma, not Blight. No, suddenly there was Desecrated Ground. And then, yes, also, if we turn it into a Shadow skill, we also do get Desecrated Ground. And if we use the Blood-Soaked aspect, we also get Desecrated Ground. And if you then have that Desecrated Ground, then you can finally use the Desecration Paragon Glyph, which gives you a damage multiplier in Desecrated Ground. Very important, though, is, like, you have to look out what you're actually having. Because the Desecrated Ground hires your shadow damage, right? It doesn't hire your darkness skill damage. Only the actual shadow damage you're dealing. And then you obviously have darkness skill damage. You have shadow damage. And then you have shadow damage over time, too. Yeah. Cool, right? And you're kind of like, yeah. Hi. It's like, hi. Like, cool. Thank you. Appreciate it. Corpse Explosion of Blood Mist. That's kind of nice. Kind of nice. You know what the fun part is about the Blood Mist? Getting the 4 bonus ranks from every night? Cooldown reduction. It essentially just happens faster. Faster. Critical strike damage, physical damage? Nah. Yeah, imagine Sork with water, ice, and wet skills. The damage versus frozen, damage versus chilled, damage versus enemies touched by water, damage versus slowed. But is damage versus slowed actually working versus chilled? See, this is a question I've always had with a sorcerer, guys, correct? So there is damage versus chilled enemies, but if they're chilled, they're not slowed, correct? So I have this too. It says, here, you deal increased shadow damage to enemies who are slowed or chilled. But one thing I never understood, right, chat, is if you chill someone, shouldn't he be slowed because he's chilled? But that's just me trying to logically approach something at times, you know? Because obviously someone that is chilled is probably also slowed, at least in my brain. Surely, chat, right? Yeah, and Shadow Blight scales with Dot and Wither within. Yes, the Shadow Blight damage scales with damage over time, which is also a thing why Sever doesn't make sense, chat, right? We were saying Sever doesn't make sense because Sever scales with crit. And the damage of Shadow Blight scales with our damage bonus of shadow damage over time. So the more shadow damage over time we have, the more damage our Shadow Blight key passive would actually deal. Right? Right? Yeah. What's the lowest cooldown you can get on Mist? Well, we have it at 13.942 seconds, and that is already with 10% cooldown reduction on Helmet, 10% cooldown reduction here, and another 10%, so that's 30% cooldown reduction, and we have another 10% cooldown reduction on the Amulet. So this is the highest amount of cooldown reduction you can have with a 40% cooldown reduction. I think there's no more cooldown reduction that is possible. Which then reduces the cooldown from 20 seconds. I think 20 seconds is base down to 13.94. What you can do now is you can get another 4 ranks in this. So if we would have now a pants that has Blood Mist on it. I don't know if I have a Blood Mist pants. Blood Mist. I think I have a pants that have it. So if you had a pants with ranks in Blood Mist, you could drop this by another 1.5 seconds roughly. But already having it around 14 seconds is insane because you have to consider that Blood Mist triggers corpse explosion on surrounding corpses. When Blood Mist detonates a corpse, its cooldown is reduced by 0.5 seconds. And you are 4 seconds in Blood Mist and you're, no, 3 seconds in Blood Mist, you're exploding 3 corpses. So it's another 1.5 seconds reduction. Plus the actual reduction that you get while using the Decrepify. And since Blood Mist might only have a 13% lucky hit chance, but you're hitting every single enemy, and that is hitting every single enemy 3 times, but every hit is actually a singular hit, so this is very important. And your Blood Mist actually doesn't do damage per second. Your Blood Mist does damage scaling with your attack speed. So the more attack speed you have, the faster Blood Mist actually procs, but there's a limit for it. So Blood Mist doesn't actually proc only 3 times in 3 seconds. I think Blood Mist procs more like 6 to 9 times in 3 seconds. And that's why if you have 10 minions or so, Blood Mist is then triggering on every single minion 6 times. You have 10 minions, so it triggers actually 60 times. Correct? Correct, Chad? One thing that we can actually try out, this is something I wanted to do. You can actually see the damage of the Blood Mist. And I think in order to see the damage of the Blood Mist, the damage of the poop wave, you just have to position different around minions. Who tests if Sever does not scale? Sever does scale with crit. What do you mean? Sever does scale with crit. But nothing else does, because everything else is like damage over time then. Sorkin, we'll do it like in a jiffy, in a very bit. Started the stream later. We can now make corpses, right? We can trigger our damage over time bonuses. And then we can do the poop wave. The poop wave does like, I think, million damage, but I'm not sure if that was the poop wave. That's my problem. Right? We're doing reasonable damage, as you can see here right now. But I still feel like the blood wave is actually not dealing the damage it's supposed to deal. I mean, notice with enough corpses and everything, the damage output is just ginormous. We're doing like 5 million ticks per second. Right? So, like, I think 7 million is the highest I've seen. And this is essentially without being the max damage version of this build, because there is technically another scale that we can do. By the way, what are the critical strikes you're seeing, guys? The critical strikes you're seeing is the Shadow Blight key passive. So the Shadow Blight key passive itself can also critical strike. This is also why a damage over time build doesn't make sense. So listen, Chad, okay? Shadow Blight key passive. Every 10th time an enemy receives a shadow damage from you or your minions, while they are affected by Shadow Blight, they take additional 7,000 shadow damage, okay? Okay? That shadow damage gets scaled by all your multipliers, okay? You got this, right? You got this. Shadow Blight's damage is increased by 100% of your shadow damage over time bonus, okay? So the damage of Shadow Blight is get another 129% multiplier for your damage over time effects. The thing is now that your Shadow Blight key passive can critical strike. So the actual key passive can critical strike, but damage over time cannot critical strike. Okay? So your main skill, Corpse Explosion, cannot critical strike. But the key passive you're having can. That means you're either going to be mixing these two into each other now and hope for the best, or you're going to focus on one, or you're going to focus on the other. The problem is, if you focus on one, let's say crit, right? Then you already automatically need Ixfel's Corroded Signet. Now, the problem with Ixfel's Corroded Signet is that Ixfel's Corroded Signet can only trigger from damage over time thingies, right? So this item can only trigger from damage over time. That means you need to do maximum damage over time with Lucky Hit. And that maximum damage over time with Lucky Hit, why shouldn't that deal maximum damage as well? And then you're like, my question is, what would you say, guys? So right now you see that I deal 5 million damage per tick on my Corpse Explosion, right? That means my Corpse Explosion over 6 seconds, let's say 4 million per tick, is doing a 24 million hit. What I'm asking myself is, why can my Corpse Explosion not critical strike? So if my Corpse Explosion critical strikes for 30 million, then it's going to be 30 million divided by 6 and 5 million per second, correct? So if now my damage over time could crit and it just gets divided by 6 or by 4 or by 10 or whatever the amount of ticks is, that would at least allow me to not have crit wasted, right? I think. Regardless of all of this, chat, the build is working. I'm not sure if Temerity would work, if I'm honest with you. I don't think so. What I like right now is that this is using 2 uniques. That's it. So you don't actually need Flicker Step, correct? The thought is also we could get rid of the Fast Blood Circle, chat, and just say maybe Flicker Step is enough. Correct, chat? Because if we play this build more as an Infinimist build, and Flicker Step could be enough. But I really do like the Fast Blood Circle to have like the amazing amount of cooldown reduction. I mean, we essentially have Blood Wave always up. Like every 5 seconds, Blood Wave is up. Yeah. Good. Now, let me quickly run for the toilet, and then I'll tell you what's happening. And don't worry, Sivas, you'll see the end. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the miasma of body explosion is not blight. Chat. This could be an overpower build. No, it could truly not be an overpower build. No, that wouldn't work. So this is actually not like the corpse explosion is not blight. Because if the corpse explosion was considered blight, then you could, with the corpse explosion, actually pull things together. You can reset Rasmus Vigor between every ultimate, yes, but after being healthy for 12 seconds, your next blood skill overpowers. This is a blood skill, right? But, Blood Wave creates desecrated ground as it travels, dealing shadow damage over time. So we could have this thing overpower, but then you would also have to stack an overpower. And if you do this, you're losing 180% multiplicative damage. Because for this, for the 180% multiplicative damage on all your damage, you need the Shadow Blood Key passive. So yes, with the Blood Orbs, you could reset overpower, but it would be useless to do that. Kind of. Sorry. One thing you could do is we could strike out the amulet and the Ring of Sacrilegious Souls again. And you could technically play the Melted Heart of Selig to make this build more tanky. But as always, why would I play, or why would I suggest to you a build that uses the Melted Heart of Selig? You don't have it. Is the Bone Spirit build OP? The Bone Spirit build is strong and really fun to play. I wouldn't call it OP. With a perfect gear, it is extremely awesome. The problem with the Bone Spirit build is that you essentially need to pull things together for your Bone Spirit to work. Whereas with the Corpse Explosion build, you just have a Corpse Explosion instead of a Bone Spirit that hits the whole screen. And that's and everything dies. Now, chat. What we're going to do is we're going to be moving away from Diablo. So that was our Poopmancer build. Thank you. The VOD of this is also going live. But we get a second live stream planned, and that is going to be Banisher. So we're turning YouTube off here with Diablo, but I'm going to be turning on another live stream in a second for Banisher. So if you want to watch that, be ready for this. And thank you for YouTube watching so far, but the second live stream is coming. So we'll turn you down, and Twitch, you can just stay in